Hey everyone, welcome. How's everyone doing? Come on in. Hit the like button for me, please, as you come in. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hey, my auntie. Both of my aunties, how y'all doing today? Y'all come on in. Y'all, I had fell asleep, took a shower, and fell back to sleep. I be tired, y'all. I do. I really do be tired. Ooh, Lord. Yeah. It's a lot of I don't know. I think I got like 3 videos for the day, but I'm not gonna play them straight through because they long. But I'm just gonna show y'all the most important parts of things that I has been saying that another content creator is saying about this case. So, hmm, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Now, I was on Instagram and a lot of people comments talking back and forth with them today. Um, I think now the thing is Mississippi wants the mom to turn over Nolan's phone, right? And she don't want to do it because of the stimulation that they had, right? That they will work side by side with each other. I think reference to getting the boys' phones and going into their phones, also going into Nolan's phones also. So I think she's not turning over Nolan's phone because they have not requested to turn over the boys' phone. Do I agree with her? Yes, I do agree with her. Because why she should turn over her son's phone when y'all not getting wants to turn over the boys' phone? So y'all can say probably we didn't see what you see, nothing was deleted because this lady does not trust anything. She does not trust anything. So now I think that she did hire another legal representation from Mississippi, a lady named Lisa. I think that's what they're saying. Um, I I wouldn't turn over the phone either. Exactly. What's up, Cameron? Yes, I wouldn't turn over the phone either. Why do y'all want her to turn over this phone so bad, and y'all have never got once to turn over the boy's phone? What is going on here? What is really going on here? Is this going to be another cover up? Because I see a lot of things is just going wrong in this case. A lot of things. No, I will not. I will not. I agree with you. I will not turn over the phone either. Like, why? Why do y'all want his phone so bad? Why in the beginning, why didn't y'all get once for these boys' phone? I mean, if you get once for the boys' phone now, I mean, will you say anything? I don't know. I'm not a phone expert. I don't know. Maybe they will. But why do you want Nolan phone so bad? Why? If you're not getting the other boys' phones, why do you want Nolan's phone so bad? And then another thing, y'all, I told you I be so tired, y'all. I really do. Sometimes I don't know if my mind be coming or going, y'all, because it's just so much going on with this case. And I be trying to look into everything before I come live the next day to bring y'all stuff. Now, I've been had this feeling too, y'all. And remember, a lot of things that I have said, y'all, a lot of people starting to agree with me, right? Meaning certain people that I go watch, I'm like, damn, I said that. I said this. I said that. Now, if y'all can remember, I'm like, I said on my platform, why is these boys feeling so comfortable doing all these interviews, saying the things they're saying? Is it something that we don't know that's making them feel comfortable to do this? More than likely, it would be a cover up. Facts. Facts, Auntie. It got to be a reason. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, y'all, but I'm going to play this video for y'all. But I went to another content creator last night because y'all know I watch some people and I stay in the bushes. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying what I heard. That some of them boys knows the medical examiner and they seen Nolan's body. I cannot confirm that. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. And I was like, oh my God. If this true, that would really hurt the core out of Nolan's parents. I can't confirm it. I don't know if it's true or not. Mr. Ben Crump told Miss Christine to tell one to do take the phone to the police station. Honestly, I think they are. Wait a minute. They are being held accountable because they feel they are superior. Yes, it's a lot of stuff, y'all. It's just a lot. So listen, y'all. I want y'all to hear this for yourself, and I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about it. And then I've been feeling this way. I've been feeling this way, and I also told y'all I felt like while these boys was coming public and they felt comfortable enough to share their story. So let me just play this, right? Because I got two more good ones. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Y'all, this is getting really. Uh, uh, I'm just going to play a little bit of this and then I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay? So, hold on.
Years old.
Does he remember the last time he saw him there?
Okay, now let's get to the most important clip from this interview where Chris talks about the autopsy.
Now, I am
because y'all, I've been told y'all that I believe that autopsy was already discussed by certain people. If y'all can remember, I said that last week that I believe this autopsy has already been discussed by certain people. I don't know who the people was, but I said it. Okay. And like I said, I was on Instagram. Lord Jesus, I fell asleep, woke up, and Lord, my food almost burnt, everything, y'all. I was just, my morning just been crazy. Some told me to hop on Instagram. I hopped on Instagram. They're going crazy. They're saying that Miss Christina did not hand on the phone, which I would not hand over my son's phone because the agreement was for everybody's phone to be handed over. So I guess at this point, everybody's phone was not hand over, and Miss Christina does not want to hand over Nolan's phone. And again, I don't blame her for not wanting to hand over Nolan's phone, so they can lie and say, "Oh, the texts and all of this stuff you saying was deleted. We don't see what you see, and all this stuff. We just never know how the situation going to turn out." But okay, now let's listen to this. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to play the most important part that I told y'all already.
I'm hearing from sources that I will protect close to the investigation that the investigators do have more information from their autopsy. You have also heard that they know things about the first autopsy.
There are things that I know that I think the average person doesn't know.
I think there are things that I know that the average person doesn't know that are not points of speculation.
All right, sorry, don't mean to interrupt, but notice how Chris just flexed his muscles there to say like, oh, well, I have more knowledge than the average person. That just lets you know that he is more concerned with leaking this information for clicks, for views, for his notoriety than he is trying to solve the case. Because if you have this information, why aren't you?
Well, to be honest, open book, if you read between the lines, he already know. He just don't want to publicly come out and say it. He knows what that first autopsy is consist on. That's why I'm gonna let them just hear it. But yeah, he knows. And I believe that he does know. Yeah. And I'm not stupid because I kept saying all last week, what is going on here? Is it something going on? Why is these boys feeling so comfortable saying this, doing that? Do they know they're not going to jail? I just kept saying this last week because it just didn't sit right with me. But let me let y'all hear it.
Telling Nolan's parents about it. Why are you on here telling YouTube, and why are you here flexing that like, well, I know more than the average person? Chris?
They found evidence of water in tissue and cavities consistent with drowning. That there was water there, but it is not conclusive. I am being told it is consistent.
There you have it, folks. Chris Cuomo is letting you know that the autopsy results that are sealed, that the DA promised would go right to the grand jury and not leak out to the public. We still have zero information from Ben Crump that any of this is even going to the parents or any lawyers, but Chris Cuomo knows the results are drowning. Okay? Now, I am not even going to go in further into what he says because he tries to like kind of like backtrack it a little bit and trying to like clean up his stuff. No, Chris, we know that you have privileged information that's supposed to be sealed, and we want to know how you got that. And it does.
Did you hear it? Okay. Yeah.
He doesn't only talk about the autopsy. Chris also has information of the toxicology report.
Also, the toxicology early on shows a significant level of blood alcohol, the BAC level, as they call it in the body.
Now, I'll address that alcohol blood content thing in a minute. Listen to when Chris now asks Russell Latino, Bart's lawyer, hey, you heard the same thing about the toxicology report. Watch him come out now and be like, okay, I'm not even going to deflect. I'm just going to come out and tell you, Chris, I want no parts of this. You go down on your own. I was going to say sinking ship, no pun intended, but you go on that hill by yourself, bro.
You have also heard that. Am I correct, counsel?
I'm going to wait till the pathologist puts out the report.
Now, let's address.
Did you hear it? Did y'all hear it? I'm telling you, these people know. That's why these boys is feeling comfortable to say the things that they're saying about Christina and all of this stuff and going back on the island and all this stuff. They listen, guys, pay attention. These boys know that they ain't going nowhere. Bottom line. And I told y'all, be ready for anything. Be ready. Okay? And when I cover a case, I just be honest about it. Especially when I started saying things getting a little shaky here. And things has been getting shaky here for a long time. Now, do we want that? No, we don't want that. We want justice for Nolan. Okay? We want it.
The toxicology information that Chris has. Okay, so suppose he did have alcohol in his system. What about Jax? What about Bart? What about Warren? What about them? What did they have in their system? Oh,
right.
That's right. We will never know what was in their system July the 4th because they were never arrested. They were never tested. Nothing. It's been 32 days under.
Shay. Come on, Shay. Come on, Shay. Now, come on now, Shay. You already know. Everybody in cahoots together. Everybody is in this together. This is a team. That's how they know. This is a team, baby. They're working together.
Just walking around. Oh, yeah, they answered some questions. If you would have arrested them, you would have been able to test them for these things. I'm not saying they're guilty, but there was enough grounds to at least arrest them, and you would have known what was in their system. But now the headlines, according to Chris, when it comes out, is going to be Nolan had alcohol, and now when you mix it in with the drowning, it's going to come out and say, well, he was drinking, whatever, he drowned, he just did this himself. And now you know that Chris Cuomo has been compromised. He's over on the TMZ side. He's over on the Bart side. And that is where Chris has decided to sit. This is clear after this interview. Like I said, why weren't the boys tested? How come we're not going to know what was in their system? It's going to come out Nolan was the crazy one, right? The one black guy in the crew, he was the crazy one drinking. Y'all were cool, right? Okay. Please do not allow Chris Cuomo to go unchecked. Chris, where did you get this information from about the autopsy and the toxicology report? What are the leaks? Where are the leaks?
Facts.
This is supposed to be sealed. And Chris, why, if you have this information, since you're such an ally, because you've had...
And that's why he said, I'm going to wait until they come out and talk about it. Because he know he better not say nothing. But he gave it away anyway. He gave his own self away. And I kept telling y'all, I believe something is not right because these boys is too comfortable. They're too comfortable. Nobody gonna get comfortable in no type of case like this when it comes to someone lost their life if they don't already know what's good. Okay? I'm from the hood. I ain't stupid. Okay? They too comfortable.
Ben and you had Christine and Elmore on your show and you pledged to them that you wanted to try to find the truth and you wanted information. Why don't you go to them instead of going to your YouTube subscribers? That is a question I want to know. Okay, now we're done with Chris. Let's move on to former Officer Coward, the new lawyers, and the fact that they went to the...
Okay, y'all. That's the only thing I want y'all to see from this one. Let's move on. Let's move on to this one because I got to bring it to you. Hold on. Let's move on. Let me find him. Let's bring him on up. Now, where is this? Okay, here we go. I don't know if I want to do the one from yesterday or today because they both was hot. I ain't even gonna lie, they both was hot, but I think I'm gonna do the one for the day because, baby, when I say this attorney was on 100 this morning, she was on 100, y'all. So let me just bring this up. Hold on. I mean, baby, she was cooking. Let's get straight to
Christine and her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
Edward, go ahead.
I'll just add something.
listen,
And again, this is why you
Can you
have to
hold on,
have to
Andy?
be-
So just folks are asking what we're listening to. And again, I explained in the beginning, if you're not here in the beginning, you probably didn't know. This is an interview with the attorneys for the boys on Dan Abrams' Sirius XM show. And they are saying that the family has not turned over the phone, Nolan Wells' phone, and they are saying that to their knowledge, and that there were not any missing text messages or anything that was wiped or scrubbed. That's what they are saying. Okay, continue on just a little bit.
ground there or in the water. When I went to the island, when I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity on Friday, one of the things you notice right away is that there's no dock. There's not a boat launch. There's not a dock.
Okay.
When
So
you
what
get
he's
to
saying, so you heard what he said. He's saying that they haven't turned over, that they have not cooperated, and that now he's in, and to his knowledge, that has not happened. So I don't know what they're insinuating or whatever. Okay. And he's saying there was not a dock. So what you had to do, he says in this, is you swim 50 or 100 feet to go in, and most people don't want to bring their phones in or what have you. So now we had this. I don't think we explained this yesterday enough, and I didn't realize it was an exclusive when I got it, to be quite honest with you. And then the team reached out and said, you know, you're the only one who has this, and we're going to release it later on this afternoon. And so this is the letter from the attorneys who are representing the family. And as we do this, I want to tell you, we're going to bring in Charles from TMZ in just moments, and he's going to discuss this and other updates. But it says, please be advised that A.R. Smith Law PLLC has been retained to serve as a local counsel for the estate and family of Nolan Wells. Moving forward, I will be working alongside the legal team at the Ben Crump, and he goes on to say that. And it says, as the legal team has stated previously, including during our in-person meeting with Wells family and counsel,
Y'all, this is a new
we
legal
have been
team
and
that's working
remain
with the
ready and
family.
willing to cooperate, arranging a joint forensics inspection of Nolan Wells' personal cell phone. During that meeting, we specifically discussed having an examination conducted through the digital forensics lab at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, as well as the possibility of FBI involvement in that process. Our position has not changed. We are prepared to coordinate a mutually agreeable date and procedure for the examination of the phone. Accordingly, to the extent there has been any suggestion that we have been unwilling to have or have failed to cooperate with the investigation, we want to make it clear, that this is not the case. You also previously indicated that Dr. Mitchell would be provided an opportunity to review the materials necessary for him to complete an autopsy review. We remain prepared to facilitate that process. Please provide us with available dates and times for Dr. Mitchell to review those materials, along with any instructions necessary to arrange his access. We would like to move both of these matters forward promptly and remain available to coordinate with your office. Very truly yours, Ahmed R. Smith, which is A.R. Smith, Attorneys LLC. Okay, thank you for that, for sending that to us. Okay, so here is who I want to bring in, Charles Lataboutier, from his executive producer from TMZ. Charles.
Sorry, he's not.
Like
he walked away for a second. He'll be right back.
Oh, he walked away. Okay. Well, we'll get Charles on in a minute. So anyway, yesterday when we got this information, we reached out to the law firm. They have since said that they won't come on and discuss it. It was in the letter, whatever's in that letter, that's what it is. And basically this letter is saying that they have been communicative, that they have done whatever it is, a due process or whatever. But it is interesting, I'll just be honest, that the phone has not been turned over. Now, I understand that the family has concerns about the process. They have concerns about the investigative techniques that are being used, or as they said, not being used. And so they may be unwilling to do it because they, not having trust in the authorities there. However, I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I don't know what that means. Does that mean anything for the family or for for the investigators? I am not sure. It's interesting though, that this grieving mom and the folks who are in the investigators are sort of being pitted against each other. Here's Charles. Charles, I'm not sure. Are you there? Can you hear me, brother?
Dance is more than just using your body. So much of dance is in your expressions.
Hold on.
Squinting has likely contributed to my.
Yep, I can hear you, Don.
Hey, Charles, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Listen, I just, these details seem to be coming in this case. It just, you never know when they're going to come. Again, I don't know if you if you heard me reading the letter and now, this was sent out. What do you make of this?
I mean, it sounds like the family, I think you nailed it, saying that they're willing to work with the authorities, but they don't trust the authorities. And what I heard, the key thing there is they said they're willing to do a joint forensic examination of the phone. It does sound like they have been holding on to the phone. They don't want to give it to the authorities and let them and leave it to their device, to them to do their process without having their own investigator there at the same time. So it sounds like, basically what they're saying is we'll hand over the phone, but we're going to send our forensic investigator too, and they will sit there with your investigators and go through the phone. But it doesn't sound like they're willing to just hand over the phone and let the authorities do whatever they want with it.
And I don't blame them.
So, but it seems, in some of these things, Charles, it seems like a long time, right? I mean, you and I were discussing what happened with some of the other high profile cases and the toxicology reports and all of that, the autopsy reports, all the things. these things don't happen as quickly as people would think in real life, right? It's not like Law and Order where the case is solved and you get all the information within, an hour, 45-minute period.
No, it's definitely not like that. And, we were just talking about it this morning before our morning meeting that it's coming up on, I believe, 7 weeks now. And next week will be 7 weeks. And typically it's around that 7 to 8 week period where you start expecting that there could be toxicology results coming out. Not before that, but every department around the country is different. I'm basing that mostly on cases that we've covered here in LA, but I can't speak to how the process works down in Ocean Springs. But around 8 weeks is when you could say, what's going on here. And obviously people have wanted the autopsy results, the toxicology results. They wanted it, 2 days after Nolan's body was found. Just doesn't work that way. But, if this thing drags on to, beyond 10 weeks, beyond 12 weeks, people are really going to start asking questions. And the question is going to be, and I understand why the sheriff has not wanted to discuss a lot of what's going on in this case. It's an open investigation, and I get that. But you also got to be realistic about the fact that.
Well, I want to know is it really an investigation going on? I think somebody in my chat said it the other day. Is it really an investigation going on? What is really going on here? I mean, no updates at all. Listen, people, it's not about the public. It's about the family. Okay, give them some updates, even though we will hear it, but it's not about us because we didn't lose our child. That family lost their child. So it's about them. It's going on a month now. But over a month, Nolan passed away. No updates, no nothing. I believe that autopsy report is back. I believe it's been back. Can I say what's going on in that police department? Nope. Do I feel something is fishy? Yup. Do I believe this is a cover-up? Yes. I do. I feel the mother is not wrong for not wanting to give up her son's phone. Why do you want the mother to give up Nolan's phone? Because she said things was missing out of the phone? Is that why? Well, then why didn't you get a warrant and take all the boys' phones that were surrounding Nolan on the boat? Everybody. Because that will make it look and feel that the family, that will make you feel unfair to the family. That you only want Nolan's phone and don't want no one else's phone. And you got to understand how the family will feel. And I also agree with the mother when they take the phone, they have their own investigator there while they're searching through the phone. It's sad that the mother have to feel that way when it comes to her son and when it comes to law enforcement, because we know law enforcement, not only in Mississippi, all around the world, is cover-ups somewhere. So I don't blame the mother. She don't want to give up her son's phone, give it to them, and then it comes back. Oh, well, we didn't see what you seen. We didn't see no Snapchat, whatever they call it. We didn't see nothing deleted. We don't know. We didn't see anything. Everything is undetermined. We don't know. She don't want that. This lady wants fair answers about her child. So she's on the edge of everything when it comes to them. And she have a right to be. Let's continue.
This is an incredibly high profile case with a lot of attention around the country and is creating a lot of divisiveness around the country. So, at some point you would think the sheriff has got to come out and say, look, here's where we are. We know everyone wants these results, but we just don't have it yet. And here's what's happening in our lab. They tell us it could be, give people a range or something so they have some expectations. But you know, that's not happening, and I don't think that it should have happened up to this point. I'm saying that in the next couple of weeks, if we don't hear anything, people are going to get very antsy, more so than they have been.
Charles, you've been saying, and now people are finally coming around. I don't know if you remember, I said that there should be a regular cadence of information that is being released or debunked from the investigators, right? And or we can't say that. And that is not happening. So in my opinion, they are helping to fuel this environment of, you know, people who are speculating and just, you know, filling in the void here, filling in the void online. So I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying that they have to come out every single day, but there should be some sort of, you know, update, you know, on the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why you feel that way, Don, but I think from the law enforcement side, you go, if we're going to come out and start debunking every theory that pops up online, then you got to pick and choose which ones.
They don't have to debunk in no theory. That's not what the family is asking. That's not what nobody is asking. They don't have to debunk no theories. Don't care about the theories. Just come out and say what y'all got, what y'all is doing, what y'all did so far. Hell with the public. Hell with the narrative or whatever y'all want to call it. Hell with all of that. Just come out and say a little bit. You don't have to say much. You know, this is what we're doing. This is what we have done. Blah, 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 so far, so on. That's all you got to do. Nobody don't care about them bunking theories. We don't care about them doing that. That's irrelevant to us because there's a lot of theories out here. And I understand that.
Becomes this slippery slope. Why did you debunk this one and not that one? Then people think that that's giving credence to the one that they didn't debunk. Maybe they just didn't see that one.
I agree with you 100%.
There are just so many theories.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying every single one. I just think that there should, you know, there's some sort of. When was the last time there was an update, Charles? Wasn't it like when the sheriff came out and said it looks like an accident? We're looking at this as accidental. That was the last one that I've seen. So
yes,
I think we're on the same page with this one. I agree with you. Not every single thing, but just in terms of, you saw the letter there from the attorneys. I just want to show people when they're basically what they're describing. Again, I'm not an attorney, but I have done these stories a lot. It's what's called a filter team, FILTER team, or they call it a taint team. And if you look on your screen now, you'll see what that means, Charles, because this is not an unusual process. A filter team or a taint team, whatever, consists of prosecutors or agents selected to review material seized in the course of an enforcement action to determine whether any of the materials are protected by the attorney-client privilege. These reviewers are specifically not a part of the prosecution team handling the enforcement action in which the search warrant was used. The taint team members are able to review the seized materials to determine whether any documents or communications are subjected to the protections of attorney-client privilege or the attorney work product doctrine. The guiding principle is the concern that exposure of the prosecuting team to privileged material may result in the exclusion of evidence should the matter come to trial or even the disqualification of the prosecutor. So basically what they're saying is they want an independent third party to be able to analyze this. I know that, you know, Harvey is the lawyer here, but you've been dealing with these cases. So this is not an unusual process in my opinion.
No, not unusual at all. It is a necessary step that they would be taking in the background here. But so little, anything that happens here is not going to be in the background when the attorneys get involved. And you're right, people shouldn't read too much into this. You know, it's interesting, they talk about the possibility down the road of prosecution. We don't know. We don't know if there's going to be a prosecution here. We don't know that there's been a crime committed. We just don't know anything. Certainly, I fully understand why a large number of people feel like there was a crime. But the reality is we just don't know at this point. So don't read too much into the fact that you've seen this letter to them talking about prosecution and talking about potential evidence. We just don't know yet. And this all comes back to getting the toxicology, the autopsy results. And, you know, you're right, Don, that the sheriff, the sheriff seems to be ignoring the fact, and you could say from one viewpoint that this is commendable on his part, that he's not caving to public pressure, but you could also look at it and say that he's sort of burying his head in the sand and acting like this isn't a huge story with national importance. You could have a news conference where you come out and acknowledge that and say, yes, we've seen there a bunch of theories out there, but we can't start just, optics matter. Optics matter when you have a case.
See, what I think they doing, they so worried about social media. Stop worrying about social media and worry about the case. Because y'all ain't got to worry about us, because we ain't worried about y'all. We just want the truth, what happened to Nolan. Stop worrying about what everybody's saying on their platforms and, or they saying this, they saying that, and looking at everything and trying to sue everybody. Stop, because that's intimidation. That's just gaslighting, and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing all of that. Stop looking at social media. Worry about what's going on and put the focus on what's going on in Mississippi Police Department.
Case at this level, and the sheriff could really be helping himself out and his department out by acknowledging that. I'm not saying he's got to come forward and start debunking theories, but optics matter when you can have a news conference where you acknowledge, say this to people and explain why you're not debunking, and explain why you can't talk about the evidence that you have or don't have, or the witnesses that you've spoken to. All those things make a difference and might calm down the public pressure on his department, on the ME's department, to actually come forward with some results.
Just one thing, because I know you're very busy. So you guys have I think you had an exclusive with one of the interviews. And also there was this I think Nancy Grace reported that there was a new fight, but if you look at the Cajun Navy's report, it appears to be the same fight that was mentioned in that. Was there a new fight? And what do you make of now? I mean, because I don't think you will disagree that the Friends are on a PR. PR blitz to change public opinion, because they believe that they in the court of public opinion, they're not doing so well, that they have been, sort of demeaned in some way, disparaged in some way.
I think it's weird. I think it's weird.
Yeah.
When Warren sat down with the guy, I know we don't like to say his name, sat down with him, I was like, okay, this one kid and his mom is a judge, and maybe he wants to sort of clear his name. But now every week, another friend sits down, or another friend sits down, and now they've got this lawyer, and they're sitting down and doing interviews. It's weird to me.
Yes,
and what's
very
really
weird.
It's not just weird. There are people are going to say things on the internet. Why does that rise to the level of you need an attorney to now sit down and do interviews to publicize yourself, to try and change the court of public opinion? Why do you care about a court of public opinion? Because you didn't do anything. And ultimately, if you didn't do anything, and maybe they didn't, let's take them at their word, their attorney, that they didn't have anything to do with Nolan's death. That's all going to come out when the results of the autopsy come out, when the investigation comes out. So why are you now getting? It's almost like I get like this attorney has probably convinced them, yes, do this and talk about this and it'll change public opinion. But what it really does, it makes some people will look at it and go like, well, what are you getting out in front of? If you didn't.
Do y'all agree with him? Because I agree with everything he's saying. It doesn't make it look good for them. It does not make it look good for them. What do you care about public opinions? What do you care about what these content creators are saying, these bloggers are saying, or whatever you want to say we are, or whoever? What do it care? You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. But I noticed one thing. I don't give a damn how many interviews they did. I never seen them say, rest in peace, Nolan, this and that. I never heard none of that from the boys. And he is right. Every time they do an interview, it's a new person all the time.
didn't do anything, there's nothing to get out in front of. So in some ways it can backfire on you. It's just weird to me. And then you also run the risk of what did happen is that one of these kids sits down and blasts Nolan's mom and says that she was wrong to put out that photo. And that's not going to play well in the public for you, man. That you're attacking the mother of your best friend, who you're so distraught about losing him, yet you're doing an interview where you're attacking his mom.
Yeah.
I agree. And y'all, what did I say yesterday? That was not attacking them because she put a picture out. I said yesterday, anybody that loses the child or someone that last seen their child, the mother is going to post a picture. My child was last seen with these people. My child had on this last. She never came out and accused those boys of anything. She only put out a picture that was posted last of her son on the island. That's all she did. For some apparent reason, the boys got annoyed by that. They didn't like that for some reason. And only they know the reason why. I don't know the reason why. But that's what parents do. Even in any case, they put out photos. This is what my child had on last. This was their last location. If anybody know anything, please inbox me. Okay? Parents do that. That's what people do on social media now. So she didn't do it to blast them. She did it because she wanted to know what happened to her son. And that was the last picture of her son that was taken. I guess that was posted. And she reposted it. And for you to say that Nolan was your best friend, he is right. How can you come out here and bash his mother if Nolan was your friend? If Nolan was your friend, you wouldn't be talking about his mother like that.
It's just stupid. Like, the old saying is, anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law, but also in the court of public opinion. And so I don't get why they're doing all these interviews.
Well, I have been saying, Charles, the kids are young, right? They're young men. To have attorneys and their families, for me, it's about the people who are advising them. First of all, you do a far right wing, streamer. Okay, that's one thing, right? You're a kid, but then you keep going on, and it just seems like maybe we need to recommend a crisis PR person to them so that they could figure this. Figure this out. So it's not really so much about the young men, and I mean, and people. The internet is a tough. It's a tough place. Anyway, Charles, I don't want to keep you.
The more they say, it's like I get that if you're distraught about the loss of your friend, and let's say they are, talk about that and leave it at that.
Yes.
If you feel like you must say something.
Yes.
But too much of it seemed like they're just defending themselves, and if they've done nothing, why are you so vociferous?
Absolutely. That's what it seems like, y'all. It seems like they're doing nothing but defending themselves. He is absolutely right. I agree with him.
Firstly, defending yourself.
Yeah, there's a doubt protest too much kind of feeling here again. And
you're right. Don, we do have to remember, like you said, I think that's so true. These are kids, and I was thinking as I was watching the interview yesterday, they're 18, 19 years old, even if some of them might be 20, they don't really know. And they're taking advice from their parents, they're taking advice from lawyers who get in their ears and say, this is a good idea to do this. I just don't know that it necessarily is.
Yeah.
Let the evidence that the police find, let that speak.
Yeah. And look, again, we don't know what happened. Not saying that they did anything, but we are going to analyze the interviews and the media strategy and what the attorneys, if you hire an attorney and you put it out there and we're going to analyze it and talk about it. So that's just going to keep bringing it up back into the media.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
Thank you, Charles. All right. We appreciate you joining us. Say hello to everyone over at TMZ. We appreciate the work that you're doing. Don. Okay. Thank you. We'll see you. Charles Latiboudjiere from TMZ. Okay. We have three great
okay, y'all. This is what's going to get funky at right here, honey.
Who are going to join us right in a bit. Reese Colbert is here. Clay Kane is here. Tezlyn Figaro is here as well. And we're going to talk about the breaking news that we have. More breaking news coming this one out of Washington,
Did
D.C.
y'all agree with
regarding
TMZ this time?
case,
I did.
that it may now get some national attention from the powers that be in our government. We're going to bring them on in a minute. First, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Have you ever made a
Hold on,
decision
y'all. We gonna skip
and
this
then
part.
later you are not alone?
For
Hold on.
Hey, someone's looking confident.
Baby, I ain't mess with her. She gets
You
spicy on it.
joining us. Tesla, we got this information. I must be honest here. I saw your post on it. I had not gotten the information yet. But Teslin, Congressional Black Caucus urges Attorney General Todd Blanche and the FBI Director Kash Patel to launch federal review of Nolan Wells' death. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely, Don. Thank you for having me
Good morning.
on. Good morning. So yes, the Congressional Black Caucus is now asking the feds, if you will, the FBI, to get involved, to launch an investigation. They are asking that 7 days, that they give a written response within 7 days. This is major news. Want to also just for clarity, and you know this, Don, and I think Reese knows as well. I've worked with Attorney Crump as a senior public policy advisor since 2012. So every major case that Attorney Crump has been on, I've been affiliated with in one way or the other. So this is important that we talk about what needs to happen from the legislative side. And I'm a little bit on 10, so pardon me, but when we put it out this morning and folks were in the comments saying, well, we can't trust, this FBI.
Cause y'all, she don't like Mr. Potato.
Yeah, well, why would we be bringing it to the FBI? Let me just do a little bit of straight, if you don't mind, Don. Can I just have about 2 minutes just to straighten?
I don't think I can stop you, Teslin. Go ahead.
I'm trying to
give our other panelists some time to talk, but go on.
Yes, I will.
No, go ahead, Teslin. You got it.
I just want to say this quickly. And all due respect, to Dr. Umar Johnson. I saw his interview the other day on, one of the platforms, The Art of Dialogue, where he was saying, why is Ben Crump not taking this to the feds? Why are congressional leaders not taking this to the feds? And then immediately when this was put out, folks in the comments said, well, why are y'all taking it to the feds? So this is where I'm confused, Reese, because some of these content creators also say we don't need to be involved in the political process. So if we're not involved in the political process, which has everything to do with who is in charge of the DOJ, and then you say take it to the feds, and then we take it to the feds, and then y'all in the comments saying, why did y'all take it to the feds? Then y'all say don't vote. I'm just confused. If anybody out there can get us a new Department of Justice by close in a business 5 o'clock, keep it posted. The Congressional Black Caucus, Attorney Ben Crump, is doing everything possible in order to put it on the record. Nobody is saying that we're putting all of our hopes in the DOJ. I'm saying the same thing that I said in the civil documentary on Netflix, which is over 100 cities have changed policy as a result of these cases. People don't want to talk about that, Reese, but that's just a fact. So we have to put it on the record. That's what FAMU College of Law taught me, to put it on the record so that if the feds don't do anything, if the state does not do anything to bring charges against whoever is guilty, now we have it on the record. And since the feds love doing hearings, let's do a hearing. I'm down. Y'all down? Because I'm down. Let's do a hearing. Let's do an open hearing. And let's bring in everybody, including these so-called attorneys who are now representing these so-called friends. And let's also be careful on keep saying, the family has said over and over, these are not the friends of Nolan Wells. I noticed the media keeps saying friends, just friends. I listened in a moment ago, but the family said they are not friends. So let's just put it all on record. So let's do it wide open. Let's what everybody see. I'm gonna give the other panelists, but I do want to clarify some lies that have been going around on social media that I think is critically important. I know Attorney Crump wants to get out as well. I'll turn it over.
Okay, just real quickly, and we'll come back to that because we were talking about the interviews, but I want the other panelists to get in. Reese, you have been invoked because you said Reese, just as you said, Reese knows. So Reese, what's your response? We got the interviews, we got this from the Congressional Black Caucus, and also this is the letter, if we can put up actually the actual letter to the Attorney General and to the head of the FBI. And it says, Dear Attorney General Blanche and Director Patel, more than a month has passed since the tragic disappearance and death of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, and his family is still without fundamental answers about what happened to their son. The Congressional Black Caucus stands with the Wells family and joins their call for a full, transparent, independent, and timely investigation into the circumstances surrounding Nolan's disappearance and death. It is unacceptable that so many questions remain unanswered as Wells family continues to suffer what is already an unimaginable loss. And then they go on and they talk about other things here, which we can get into later. But go ahead, Reese. Good morning to you too.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Oh yeah,
Jasmine,
Brittany, I
think she
love her
broke it down, perfectly.
She put it
the
on the
reality
floor.
is that we want answers, and the way that you get answers is by getting people to advocate on behalf of the family. It's no different than we would want people to advocate for all these Black people who mysteriously turn up hanging from trees all of a sudden in Mississippi, and we don't get answers. And so when you have people understand the mechanisms with which that we can get answers from the DOJ, from the FBI, and to be clear, there are still career prosecutors, there are still career investigators that have not been politicized. We see prosecutors who have quit the DOJ because of their discomfort with some of the things. And Don, I think you can attest to that in your case. But I think that what I hear is that there are a lot of people coming from different angles who are putting out information, who are encouraging the release of information. The guys, I don't want to call them boys and I don't want to call them friends. If you were to believe what they're saying, they have a vested interest in the truth coming out. They have a vested interest in the investigation moving forward and their names being cleared if their name should be cleared. And the family does as well. I'm encouraged by any kind of step that moves forward with getting more hands on deck to understand what happened. What we do know is that foul play has not been ruled out because the independent autopsy has not ruled out that something may have happened. It has not definitively declared that it was an accidental drowning or anything like that. We don't have the state's results. And so until we know definitively what happened, if that's possible through an autopsy, these questions have to be asked, and as many people as we can to sound the drum, the better.
Clay, good morning, sir.
Good morning. There's something on my mind. If I could just take a minute, like Tina Turner, something on my mind. And I wanted to come on last week, but I couldn't. I just want to say this really quick, and it ties into what y'all are saying. I saw the interview that you did with the alleged friend, Emmanuel. And I was so pissed off. I was so outraged by what he was saying about the state of Mississippi. Just a couple of key things. One of the things he said was that Emmett Till whistled at Carolyn Bryant. That's a Jim Crow lie. We don't know that. We know that's what she said. Then he went on to argue that because all these Black folks are allegedly having children with white people or people who are non-Black, that's proof that racism in the Magnolia State has changed or evolved, or it's not like what people think it is from looking on the outside. Strom Thurmond, the racist Dixiecrat, had a child with a Black woman. Still racist. You know, Don, I have a Black father and a white mother. My white mother's family was racist as hell to the point where they stopped speaking to her altogether. To see that man, I know he's not a politician, I know he's not a celebrity, but to see him come on here and tap dance like that, considering what's happening right now and the justice that the family is asking for is crazy. And then when you look at the data in Mississippi, Black folks in Mississippi, I think the median household income is $37,000. For white folks, it's $68,000. All the data is there. So, and furthermore, Benjamin Crump never went to the state and said, this state is racist. He never did that. He didn't scream that. And so as what you were saying before, when people go in certain spaces and asking for justice, you're suddenly screaming racism. So Mr. Emmanuel, if you're listening, brother, I don't know who you're dating. I don't know who you're with that makes you feel more warm and fuzzy inside. But that was and to bring up Emmett Till, Emmett Till, and to babble the shit that Carolyn Bryant said, who lived into her 90s. So it is a racism issue, but it's also a deep ignorance issue. And that's what's frustrating. And then to see those kids, not kids, grown-ass men, go on the former Officer Tatum show, who is like Candace Owens 3.0. I know Candace Owens has done a remix now and did all her rebranding. But Candace Owens, Diamond and Silk, this is just, as Frederick Douglass said about a man named Isaiah Montgomery in Mississippi, others will be dazzled by fame and imitate their bad example. We're not saying that this case is solely about race, but to not see the intersection of it is crazy. And to say because black folks and white folks had some kids, that proves this thing is, we're past all that. As when I was just in Mississippi, there are still Confederate monuments. They honor places that were former plantations. And whether it's Louisiana, Mississippi, my hometown of Philadelphia, that's the shit that's driving me crazy about this case. And if racism was a non-issue in the state, then all these issues wouldn't be coming to the surface.
Prayer, discipline, and my collagen powder.
The Black Girl Vitamins collagen powder.
It keeps my bones in perfect shape.
My ankle is no longer bothering me. My shoulder is no longer bothering me.
I love taking my Black Girl collagen powder.
I use it every day. I am on my 3rd container. Consistency is the key. One of the reasons that I like it, about 3 years ago, I actually hurt my shoulder because someone pulled me, and
And can I just say one thing? One person that we know we can rule out as a suspect, not just one, but I'll say this: Christine Wansley is not a suspect. She was nowhere near Horn Island. She was nowhere near that boat. So she doesn't have to defend herself for shit. Anything that she does as a mother trying to find answers to what happened to her child is completely fucking justified. She doesn't have anything to hide. You already broke down the letter as to their stipulations for which they will turn over the phone.
Ooh, they funky,
because
honey.
I think with reasonable suspicion and skepticism, they want to make sure that there's going to be independent and professional investigation into that phone. So what they're stipulating to and what they're requesting is 100% reasonable. So for anybody to go on TV and go on these stupid ass fucking interviews and sit up there and make her out to be the villain or make her out to be the suspect, this woman has been terrorized. She's had false complaints against her livelihood, the work that she does, in addition to losing her child. And so, regardless of what comes out, even if these, I'm going to say, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of the ruling or who's a suspect or not a suspect, but shame on anybody, especially these guys, for trying to cast aspersions on a mother who has lost her child.
Well, and Don, I want to put this out here because I have told Tatum, who I was on News Nation with the first week, let's just have it live. Since you guys want clicks so bad, let's do it live. Let's call Versus up. I want a me versus Tatum. See, it's really easy, and I say this respectfully. It's very easy for him to go back and forth with other commentators, to go back and forth with everybody else. Why don't you talk to me? I'm the only woman in the Ben Crump, and I'm not saying that to flex. I'm just giving facts. I'm the only speaker in the documentary for attorney Benjamin Crump, the only one in civil, Don. Why won't Brandon sit down with me, who actually talked to the family? Sit down with me that's actually worked with
Y'all, is she calling them out or what, y'all? Is she calling them out or what? Y'all, she is fire. I love her.
Attorney for over 15 years. Let's go line by line by line so that I can debunk, because see, a lot of folks get on and say, well, we don't know. See, I actually do know. I actually do know that when the prosecutor, that lie that they had out yesterday saying that Ben Crump never turned over the phone. See, I actually do know that the letter was given to them that said, give us the date and the time. We will go through the phone line by line. Let's stop bullshitting around, Don. Ask Tatum. Let's do it live. Let's not do. He said I can come to his show. I don't want to go to your show. I don't want you in charge of editing. I don't want you in charge of producing. Let's do it live.
Come on, girl.
And let's go line by line by line. The timeline. I'm in contact with this family. I'm in contact with Attorney Crump. I know Attorney Crump's record through and through like the back of my hand. Let's really talk about it, Don. And that these attorneys, who are Trump attorneys, by the way,
dance to the law, Brittany.
The lead attorney is Trump attorney that have sued CBS on behalf of Donald Trump. Let's let the people go through and decide, do they want to believe Trump's attorneys or do you want to believe Ben Crump? Do you want to believe Brandon Tatum when he says that Ben Crump
they on the noble side of the family.
when white people are involved? Or can I run down to you the last 10, 15 cases where everybody was black, plaintiffs and all, defendants and all? Do you want to believe Brandon Tatum when he says it's only about race, or do you want to sit down with me so we can go through the 95% of the other cases that have nothing to do with race? See, it's very easy to sit up here and talk, Don, with people that don't have the information. I say that respectfully because I know everybody's doing their best, but I want to come on in the room, Brandon. Sit down.
Oh, he don't want that much truth, though.
But hold on, Jason, do it here. Do it here. I'll just sit and let you guys talk.
Be a backlash.
No live, no editing.
No editing. Officer Teslin from the United States Air Force. Let me look in the camera. Teslin Figueroa, the security police officer, called AKA Defender for the Air Force.
Come
is
on,
here to
girl.
serve. Let's do Officer Tez versus Officer Tatum, and let's get to it, and let's do it live, Don. We don't have to worry about no edits and no panel. Let's go through the timeline. Let's go through what the mama said. Let's go through what the friend said. Let's go through it each and every one. Let's stop talking the ring light.
The one with the glasses on, she was a police officer in the Navy. This other lady here, I think she's an attorney too, with the other black shirt on. She's an attorney too, but they smoking, baby.
Lights, and let's get in the ring.
Teslin. Wow. Okay, so Teslin, let's just a couple of things that I want to ask you about. Because the friends have been doing these interviews. Let me just play this. I want to play this and then and then I'll ask my question. Play this, roll this, Andy.
So like his mom blasting us on social media from the get-go, saying that
The most wonderful deals for teachers are here at Staples. Save big on classroom supplies all season long.
I know y'all was going to come back for this.
He was out there with Warren and another guy. That's where it first started to take off. And then also the fact that she posted a picture of me and Morgan and another guy and Nolan on the boat together, blasting that out there, pushing this narrative, kind of, I guess. I wish that would have never happened either. And I don't think those would never happen. A lot of this stuff wouldn't have been as viral or.
I really can't remember what the black guy professional is, so I don't want to get it wrong. But he do have a lot of good things going on in his life. I can't remember what he said that he do, but he have a. Well, for one, I do know he's a journalist. For one, I do know that.
Gone all over the country at this point. I mean, this is a countrywide news story that is just blown out of proportion. And the fact that it was our best friend and it's not what people are saying it is what hurts the most. I mean, that was our brother. I mean, straight up. That's what I told his dad the night that he came over to my house. He was like, blah, saying something. I was like, dude, that was my brother.
All right, so let me just say this. To say that the mom is, blasting, it's wow, that's just not. And look, again, these are young people. You guys, how you feel. I'm just saying that this was not a good idea for them to do these interviews.
Well,
if they're
actually,
trying to.
Talking. Yeah, objection.
As I was saying that, I was saying maybe it's a good idea
keep
for the family. Yeah, go on. What do you think?
Well, also, they were dealing with a missing child at this point.
Right, and wasn't there something you guys can? Did she put this picture out? If she's looking for her child, she's going to put a picture out of the people that they were with. But didn't they get the bathing suit color wrong or something? She was like trying.
If someone missing their child, they're going to put a picture out. That's what they're going to do. That's what people do on social media now. If a child is missing, to say what they last had on, it ain't blasting nobody. No. This my child was with these two girls last. They was with this guy last. That's what people is doing now, putting out pictures on social media. So she didn't do it to hurt anyone. She did it because she wanted answers for her child.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I'll be happy to correct it and to actually talk to the family. Number one, she literally said, like you would do with anybody else, this is the last time I saw my child. This is who he is with. Any investigation would say, well, who were they with last? Describe who the people they with last. This is the last time I saw my child. So there was never on Christine. For him to sit there and say, I just wish he would have never did it. That's what hurt the most. Well, how the hell do you think she's hurting? How do you think she's feeling? And again, dude, when he said, well, I told his dad, dude, that was my best friend. If you was the best friend, you wouldn't have never had to introduce yourself as a best friend. So let's stop this narrative on this friend. And let's also, I say this respectfully, Don, these are not boys. These are grown men who are sitting there next to an attorney. who is literally allowing, encouraging.
I'm tired of people saying
them
they
to
little
make
boys.
these statements. And on behalf of FAMU College of Law, I want you to continue talking. Y'all not talking enough. Keep the podcast mics on. Keep on talking about it. Because see, there's something called discovery. And the same way that they are also trying to intimidate content creators, you know, by saying that content, including you, Don, who's also on the list, by saying content creators can't talk, jeopardizing people's First Amendment. Yeah, let's keep it going so that we can bring everybody's statement into discovery. So yes, this is a national case. It should be a global case. Let's really get down to it. So I appreciate you, Don, saying they're doing the wrong thing and they shouldn't be doing. I'm here to say, keep it up. Y'all not talking enough.
Well, I didn't say that they were boys. I said that they were young men, and I think the adults are at least wiser than they are. I don't think it's wise because to go out there and blast a mother. That's what I mean by that. I don't think it's wise.
They don't care about that though. But see, that's the whole thing. See, this attorney. Let me just go ahead and call a thing a thing. In the letter, in the donation, it says they're coming after Attorney Crump. So even though you're looking at it from a crisis comm standpoint, I have a crisis comm firm. I get that, but they're not looking for wisdom. They're looking for how can I make sure that I take down Black America's Attorney General. This is way bigger than just Nolan Wells. We've never seen a lawyer from the other side, because typically being is suing the state. So you don't see a lawyer pop up and say, I'm willing to take on Attorney Crump. His name is mentioned all throughout the donation, all through. Notice how they mentioned it there. Brandon Tatum is very clear about who he is targeting. So they're not concerned about getting to the root of this. They're concerned with making this a larger issue to say that anybody that comes and defends Black life, we are now going to counter. We're going to counter with lawsuits. We're going to counter with social media. We're going to counter with interviews. And I'm saying we're here for it. We got lawyers too.
Well, Shay, I don't know if you watched her interview, but I think like a month ago she did eat him up on a news channel. She ate him up on that channel too. She was going in on him. She don't play, y'all. I knew y'all was gonna love it.
Got ink and toner too. We too can countersuit. So they're not concerned, Don, because if they were, any lawyer would tell them to shut their mouth. So why don't we have the hearing so that the grown men who were last seen with Nolan Wells, I'm not accusing you of anything except being the one that was last seen, according to his mother, with Nolan Wells. We would love to know if somebody else saw Nolan Wells. Let's have the hearing so we can see it, because as it stands right now, Mississippi has not given information to the parents. That's just the facts. So to say that he's not, that they're not cooperating is a lie. For Brandon Tatum to say, well, why didn't Ben Crump give him access to the boat? Dr. Umar said the same thing. It wasn't Ben Crump's.
First of all, what did I tell y'all in the beginning? That was not Ben Crump's decision to say, go get that boat, go examine that boat. He don't own that boat. He's a criminal attorney. Okay, he don't have no right to get no warrant and tell somebody else to go to somebody else's house and get somebody else's boat. And this lady said the same thing that I've been said. And for the comment at the bottom that said he probably drowned it though. I don't believe that. That's your opinion. I respect your opinion, but I don't believe it.
Ben Crump's boat to give them access to. So let's stop bullshitting, and either we're going to do a real case or we're going to do a media case. If we're going to do it, let's make sure we get all the witnesses involved who actually know the information, and let's stop speculating. I was very clear in the beginning when I said, if you don't want people to speculate, investigate. Christine has never accused anybody of racism. She has never said it's about race. She's never said things. What we are arguing here is this is not about you and your good white friends and good white folks that you work with. We are talking about a system. Larry Elder, I just threw
y'all, she fired. She's fired.
A system that Fannie Lou Hamer said about Mississippi. She said they don't just bring you out, they do it in a subtle way. So people can either believe Fannie Lou Hamer or you can believe this attorney.
Right, Shay. He ain't got no authority over that.
It's truly up to the people.
Reese, Reese, because I think Reese has a time crunch. Go ahead, Reese.
No, I think, look, I don't know if I'm needed here. Y'all got y'all hold it down.
But Reese, I will say something. I will say something if you can add to.
Well, you know, to be honest, we don't know yet, but everybody has their own opinion on how they feel what happened to Nolan, right? And we all got to understand what goes down so hard in Mississippi. And we all got to understand this is not the first case that was a possibility trying to be covered up. This is not the first one. Now, I've been heard about Mississippi, but goddamn, I ain't know Mississippi was this goddamn bad until goddamn Nolan came out. Okay, so I'm going to say again, I don't believe he drowned. Okay, because I don't like the things they put out about him. Like they're saying he was out there sniffing powder. Well, why? Nolan was the only one out there sniffing powder. Nobody out there was on that land sniffing powder but Nolan. Why? Because I believe in my heart, this is my opinion, they want to make Nolan look bad. They want to make a deceased boy look bad. They also said Nolan was out there drinking vodka. He had a vodka bottle in his hand, you know, drinking vodka. Do I believe that? No, I don't believe that. Again, they want to make a deceased boy look bad. Now, I did hear in another content creators live that they don't think it was Nolan drinking that vodka. They think it was the other black boy that was out there drinking the vodka. Now, if they can prove to us that Nolan was drinking vodka, I'll be like, oh, okay. I apologize for that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But until then, I'm not apologizing to none of the motherfucking boys who's on that goddamn panel. And if anything come back that they didn't do nothing, I still won't apologize to the motherfuckers. And I'm gonna tell you why I won't. Because I don't like the way they came out bashing Ben Crump. I don't like the way they bashing the mother. It's a lot of things that I don't like what they did. So I will never apologize to any of them. Sorry, but not sorry.
Look, I think Tezlin's right, and I think that what I have been saying is that it's not a good look attacking a mom, and also to constantly be defending yourself rather than saying everyone knows, you know, this family deserves to know what happened to their loved one. We are, you know, it's like it's about defense rather than having compassion for a mother. And if you are in crisis PR, as Tezlin is, that's not a good look in this particular case. Because in this particular case, Nolan Wells is the victim. She is the mother of the victim.
Right. And trying to recontextualize the circumstances through which any of their photos were put out. It was put out in the context of a woman who is hoping and praying that her son is still alive, and that maybe he's dehydrated somewhere on an island, or, you know, whatever the situation may be, and that he can be brought home. I don't think by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, anyone could suggest that she was trying to start a race war or try to paint these people out to be what would have been her worst nightmare, to have been perpetrators in the death of her son. There is absolutely no reason for her to have even had that in her mind when all she wanted at the time was to bring her child home. So I said a couple weeks ago on your show, keep talking, because then we can rack and stack what you're saying. Okay, you said that here. They're going to the island. Hey, yep. Go ahead, write the OJ did it book. I'm not mad at it, you know. But the part that I am mad about is the way that the family is getting attacked. That is what I am mad about, because at the end of the day, when all the lights go off and all the cameras are down, these parents are dealing with.
Let me just say something. Please don't come in my chat and tell me what to do, because that's a good way of my mom's blocking you. Please don't ever do that. Okay? I don't think Don is racist at all. I like Don. Okay? And if he is racist, that's his business. I have nothing to do with how he feel. Okay? I like Don Lemon. I think he's respectable. I think he's give everybody a chance to talk. I love his conversation. Okay? I like him. I don't think he does anything wrong. I mean, you don't have to stay in my chat and watch it. You know? You don't have to stay in the chat and watch it. I have plenty of people in this chat that likes Don. They likes Don commentary. And anybody that does not like Don commentary, they can just respectfully and leave the chat. You don't have to stay in the chat and watch him. I don't think Don racist at all. I don't think so. I think he's very professional, you know, on all of his platforms. He don't come out and accuse nobody of anything, you know. And those are content creators that I like to share their content. Okay, I don't share racist people content for the simple reason why, because I'm not racist. I know there's a lot of good white people out here. So I think that was not a good comment. I think, you know, you was wrong putting that in the chat, you know?
With the fact that their son is never coming home. And
Oh,
so
I want them to keep talking, Reese, because again, they trying to sue all of y'all. You know, I haven't been making posts about this, but now I'm getting a little bit more vocal. But the same way they're coming against y'all, let them keep talking. Because see, I read Simple Procedure too, but the book right here. We also can make some defamation as well. So let them keep talking, so we can build the claim. Yeah, I read criminal law too. We read books too, tags and all. We read it too. You're not the only one that actually knows how the law works. So no, guys, keep on talking. Y'all not doing enough interviews. I say do it more. Continue to attack, because when they come for you, Don Lemon, as they're doing, because see this, getting them to pleading to get them to do the right thing, and oh man, I can't believe y'all doing. Let's take off the mask and show how.
Do I got any minds in the chat? Please time that person out, please. I'm not going to keep stopping my commentary for that. Please. I don't want to be aggravated today. Please, just time them out. Do I got any minds in the chat? You're not asking me nicely. How you going to ask somebody nicely to take down their commentary because you don't like it? Like, what the hell? You can't be serious right now. You just can't be serious. Or tell me, are you a troll? I'm please asking you nicely. You don't ask me nothing. This is my platform. You don't ask me a motherfucking thing over here. What the fuck is wrong with you? If you don't like him, don't watch anybody that play Dawn, and don't watch me. Like, you can't be serious right now. And I'm going to play another one of his lives when I'm finished. So if you don't like it, excuse yourself.
Ugly it really is. We can't get to the issue if we continue to just turn our head and say, guys, don't do that. No, let's show how they truly don't give a damn about attacking a grieving mom. And then so when you come for her to sue her, because they are, we now can counter sue on the claims that you've made about her character, that you've made about her grieving, about how you damn near trying to kill this woman and put in a mental institute. So let them keep talking. Let's stop giving them PR advice, because the same way we're not giving PR advice for everybody else, and Christine got to take this, and y'all got to take this, and they sitting up here literally saying they're going to sue you. Let's stop worrying about what their attorney is literally telling them to do. They're following counsel. And I'm not going to sit up here and say these are boys that don't know what they're doing. One of those young men, boys, is a judge.
I did,
they're very clear about what they're doing. Let's stop playing like they don't know. And guess what? The law says ignorance is what? Never an excuse for the law. So if you want to continue to do it and be ignorant and keep making these statements, then let's get to it and keep the podcast going.
Action, Saquon. I'll let my scent do the talking.
Smell professional with Santo and Speed.
Getting the tools you need
Come
should
in
be
my
simple.
chat and tell me, please stop
Over
playing
1,600
live.
easy-to-shop
The
stores
fuck
need-
is wrong with you?
Period.
Well, Reese, thank you. I know Reese has to go. Thank you, Reese. We'll see you soon.
It's
So
Johnny
go ahead,
and Cameron.
go ahead and jump in.
Well, listen, this is a pattern that when we see some of these tragedies, the Black mothers get attacked. It happened to Sabrina Fulton, Trayvon Martin's mother. It happened to Samir Rice, Tamir Rice's mother. We see this on and on. So you also make the victim find a way to criminalize him. Then you got to criminalize the family. So this is it goes right down into our history. It's not surprising to me at all. My only question is, Teslim, and maybe I'm in conspiracy theory mind. I'm with you. Let them keep talking, right? But in my mind, this just sounds so, in my opinion, so idiotic. Do they know that, okay, a grand jury is not going to indict us? Do they know that they have some...
Y'all, wasn't I saying that? Is they doing this because they already know they're not getting indicted, that they know they're not going to jail? Didn't I been saying this, y'all? I'm like, something's not adding up. Why is they keep going out here doing all of this talking, saying all the things they're saying, doing the things they're doing, going back on the island, all of this? Do they already know that they're not going to be indicted? I've been saying the same thing he's saying now.
Kind of cover, because this just sounds so bizarre, and it's concerning me that they keep on babbling. I mean, it just sounds like the worst strategy ever. And in my mind, I'm thinking, do they know something that we don't know that they can get away
Facts.
with
That's
this?
what I
And then
said.
are we just gonna, in a few months, grand jury, no indictment, let it go? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at what you would want any potential suspect, if you will, you obviously would not want them talking in the media. But we live in a space now, and I just did a presentation on this with the Florida Black Bar Association about the court of public opinion. We are in a space now where now you're having to fight in the court and out the court, you know, with the content creators and mainstream media no longer really exists, you know, that these conversations are going to happen. So I can actually understand why anybody, not just them, why anybody would want to get ahead of their narrative or want to put their narrative out there, whether the grand jury indicts or not, because there's two justices, one that is the court of public opinion, that badge that you have to wear for the rest of your life. And then with the actual, you know, a jury finds or doesn't find. Johnny Cochran, we all know, did it best, you know, with the O.J. Simpson trial, constantly had to explain to Judge Ito and constantly was reprimanded for running out to the media and creating narratives, because believe it or not, it does make a difference with the jury. And I'll give you an example. I did front page news for the Breakfast Club for a couple of years. And in Trump's trial, I did the news every day. And juror number 5, who was a Black woman teacher, they asked her, where did you get your news? And she said, I get my news from the Breakfast.
Brittany, he's a journalist. And he's something else too. I can't remember what else, but I do know he's a journalist.
Breakfast Club and TikTok. So when we talk about the potential jury, let's say there is a jury. Let's say something, and I don't know, again, this is I'm just making an example on why somebody would want their narrative to be out there. If there is a potential jury, you would actually want your client's information out there, believe it or not. We can look at another example with George Floyd. If you look at the George Floyd matter and the Chauvin case, Derek Chauvin, go back and look at the witnesses that actually got on the stand and they said, why did you record? They said, well, I knew I needed to record because, you know, that's what we're taught now. Where they were taught that because everything from Trayvon Martin on 2012 on told people to take your cell phones out and record, which, by the way, Attorney Crump had a lot to do with that as well. So you are educating future jurors. You are educating the public. You are educating that public perception that still is a very real thing that sometimes can be more punitive than what the court can find. So although I understand black and white, like, oh, why would they be doing this? Why are we doing this? I can also see why somebody doesn't want their name just, you know, without them saying something. However, it also still puts you at a risk for everything you say can and will be used against you. Maybe not necessarily in the court of law, but certainly in the court of public opinion.
Wow, this is this has been interesting. So, do you expect to hear anything from the administration or the FBI or the Attorney General? Do you expect to hear? You think that they're going to respond to that letter from the CBC?
I think the DOJ, and this is another thing I want people to. I would hope so. But let's look at the reality of the administration that we're dealing with. You know, especially to the folks that said voting doesn't matter. You know, it kind of actually does. The sheriff that was elected in Mississippi, when you look at the DA that makes a decision, when you look at the state attorney that makes a, again, going back to the George Floyd case, without having Keith Ellison as a state attorney that said, let's bring in outside prosecutors to make sure, you know, we conduct this investigation correct, without having the jurors who were informed, without having all of those components in place, you tell me, Don, is a sheriff that's elected by the people of Mississippi, will they allow it? The medical examiner is also an appointed position that ties back to somebody who's elected. The DOJ was Trump's former attorney. So you tell me, you know, if we think something. What we do know is we can put on the record that we've made the ask. What we do know is we've taken it as high as we possibly can. And what we do know is people need to understand how each and every last one of these positions, from governor to sheriff to medical examiner to all things involved, all have some connection to election. And let me be clear for the trolls who say, well, you on here helping.
I apologize to y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. The troll just made me mad. So I want to tell you I apologize. But my brain always stay on fight mode, y'all, because I know what I have to deal with sometimes when these people come in here and start, you know, saying mean and evil things. And that's the way my mind is set up. I'm always on fight mode. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? But I want to apologize to y'all. I don't like that. You know, he's calling people racist, you know, and I don't like that. I just did not like it. You know, I didn't like it. So I'll say I apologize to y'all. Great channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm just not like that. I'm not racist or any of that. I don't see Don as being racist. I don't see him as that type of person. I see him as a great person. I like the way he let people come on his panel. You know, I like how he conduct his panel. I like how he have everybody, you know, have their opinion on his panel. I think Don is funny. I think he's a great person. I don't see racism in him. And if he is, that's his business. That have nothing to do with me. Nothing at all to do with me. You know, I'm not racist. You know, but when you come in my chat and start disrupting my chat and telling me to stop playing him and take him down, that was crazy. So I apologize to y'all.
Democrats. I am independent, Don, as you know. This, you know, you and I first started talking. This is not me being a Democrat shield or whatever y'all want to call it. I'm telling you through my push the line training, which we train people how to run for office, how to work on campaigns. We need to educate people on how these things are connected. So the same cover up that people are saying allegedly that there's a cover up, what I want people to get from this is you can undo the covers if you start becoming more involved in the system and actually understanding how things work.
Scorpio.
You cannot blame Attorney Crump when he's not a state attorney. You cannot blame.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right, because I want justice for Nolan, and I just can't imagine what the mom and dad is going through with to try to get justice for their child, and many more moms and dads out here that's fighting hard to try to get justice for their child. You know, so things just don't sit right with me in the case. You know, I don't feel like he drowned, and yeah, it's a lot. I just, you know, just go away, please. Just go away. If you have nothing nice to say, just stay away, please.
Blame him for bringing forth the civil matter when it's up to the state who's actually elected. You cannot blame him for asking the DOJ to get involved when we don't run the
Karen,
DOJ.
it's pinned
you
at the
cannot
bottom.
Say, well, damn, the Supreme Court never
If you
did
don't see it, I can
when
get
Trump literally
Auntie Barbara to drop it.
And when activists like myself were telling Joe Biden, expand the court, expand the court. Everybody told me, oh, you don't know how it worked. We can't do that. Breaking news, everybody. However it worked then is not how it's working now. So this has to be used as a way to say, Democrats, if you get back in power, how are we going to move forward?
Auntie Barbara, is you in the chat? Could you drop my coffee link if it's not pinned?
Not just on Nolan Wells, but period. Because what you saw with the crime bill 1994 is about to be 2.0. So this is way bigger than Nolan Wells. And that's what I'm trying to advocate for, Don, that those dots are not being truly connected in a lot of the conversations I've been hearing, which is why I'm here today. Thank you.
And just a point
coming on. Go ahead.
Just
Clay.
a point, Mississippi, they have a Senate election coming up in November. I've interviewed two of the candidates. Sidney Hyde-Smith is up for re-election in Mississippi, who, for last I checked, she said,
Karen,
I don't
let
even
me
know
know if
anything
you
about
see
the
it
Nolan
pinned at the
Wells
bottom
case,
or not.
something like that. And that state has some of the lowest voter turnout rates in the country. So to your point, if we had a Mike Espy senator, maybe there would be a little bit of change, or not Governor Tate Reeves, who celebrates Confederate Heritage Month every April in Mississippi.
And I want to throw this stray out. You know, I came in you should have never invited me, Don. I want to throw this straight out to the Democrat Socialists of America as well. And again, let me say this I was Bernie Sanders' racial justice director. I flipped Michigan, was credited as one of the ones that flipped Michigan. I was the only African-American on the ground in 2015.
What if I told you that the moment your book is published, there could be a giant billboard featuring you and your book in Times Square? And in addition, a video trailer that tells your book's story, a paid advertising campaign to...
I say that receipt because it's important that you know what perspective I'm coming from. This goes for Bernard. Let me say it real clear. Bernard and every last socialist, Democratic socialist, and every last white progressive, y'all ain't said a damn thing about Nolan Wells. And let's also be clear about it. If you go to the Democrat Socialists of America national page, they say nothing about race. So DSA, want to make sure you hear me well. Although the affordability argument is there, although yes, Black women, we put a post up yesterday, the Black women are identifying more with Democrat socialists. But I also want to make sure y'all know that Democrat Socialist America, they ain't really too much touching on this race issue. And that goes for Bernard Sanders and everybody under him, Don. So as the country's changing on politics, everything can't be fixed by just affordability. Everything can be fixed by everybody making $15 an hour and all is well. There is still something that needs to be talked about that Fannie Lou Hamer said that needs to be talked about. And Bernard ain't talking about it, and everybody else under him. They are not talking about race in these so-called platforms that everybody's excited for. And I know people don't like that because y'all like socialists, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the community safety net. We cannot have a safety net that does not include dismantling racism beyond just economics.
Clay, I think we're done here for the Tess and Figaro show.
Y'all, wasn't she fired?
I'm sorry, Don.
She
You
got
haven't
the
invited me
roof.
on, so I had a lot to say. I've been holding it in.
Nope, when you got this, there's no need for me to jump in. Clay, did you want to say something before we?
No, I've interviewed DSA folks. I interviewed Mandani last week, and I asked him this question. You know, it can't be just class and not race, or class and a little bit of race. It has to be deeply, deeply interconnected. So it's my first time being on with you. I appreciate it.
And if you interview El Said, please let them know. How do you pronounce the name? I want to make sure. El Said.
Oh, I interviewed him.
Please tell him that Tesla Figaro said that he needs to contact New Era Detroit.
Okay.
The actual brothers on the ground. And I'm saying it as the one that helped Flip Michigan. And I met him in 2015. So he can keep acting like he's not seeing the post. But I don't want no hard feelings if I start getting real loud about it. They still did not flip Black voters.
Yeah, they did not.
You know,
They
so
lost Black voters.
again, Rashida Tlaib and everybody else, let me know when y'all gonna go talk to the homies in the hood. And I don't want no hard feelings about it, Don, when I start coming out saying they didn't talk to no Black people. So I'm letting it be known to you and anybody else, they're waiting on the call.
Well, El Said has been on this show a couple of times, and not within the last couple of days or so. But I will ask him about it if we have the opportunity to get an interview, and Clay has interviewed him as well.
Yeah.
However, I was at the CBC last week in Mississippi, and the whole idea of the DSA was brought up, and and progressives, and the older folks who were there said, "Look, Black people have been progressive. Dr. King was a progressive. So there's nothing new," they say, about the progressive, and I said the energy is on the progressive side. That might be true, but what their belief is that Black folks have already been progressive, basically saying this is nothing new for African Americans, for Black people in this country.
That's very true. But that still had nothing to do with these millions and millions of dollars that they're raising. And not also including Black grassroots organizations. So that's true, but saying we've always been there don't have a damn thing to do with what I'm talking about. We're right here now, and I want to know what programs are you funding in the Black community right now? Not a promise on what you're going to do down the road. Oh, once I get in, I'm going to do this. No. You can go fund one of those back to school programs right now. You can go fund one of them right now. They're gathering information and school supplies. You got it in your budget. You spend it on everything else. So let's start talking about what you're going to do right now, not down the road. So I think that gives them a pass, Don, in my opinion, when we say Black people have always been progressive.
Thank you, Karen.
But right now, you guys are raising millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're able to ignore Detroit because Rashida Tlaib, all respect to her, she has Dearborn on lock because her messaging aligns with the people that she represents. And Detroit, there's two things: voter suppression and voter.
I'm sorry, Don. I have to head out. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Clay.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Tessa.
I'll say this and I'll end it. When you look at cities.
Okay, y'all, we're going to get into the next one. Hold on, because that was the end of that one anyway. So let's go to, hold on. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna bring this one up, y'all. He is a former prosecutor, and now he is a civil rights attorney. Let's get into it.
He got called out at Walmart.
Hold on. Ooh. Oh shoot! Hold on, y'all.
Using a toothbrush is my least favorite way to clean retainers. I use the dental pod. If you wear your retainer every night like I do,
Someone called him out.
Let's get to the beginning of this, and let's hear what he got to say, y'all.
So you want to start a podcast, but you're not sure how. Riverside's got you covered.
He had a
First, go to
disagreement with Mr.
riverside.com and
Potato
open
too,
an account.
y'all.
And when you're ready to record, just hit
On
the
a
record button to
podcast one
capture high
day.
quality.
Lawyers usually are going to advise you to keep your mouth shut for as long as possible, for as long as you must. And so I don't understand why anyone feels compelled to do public interviews at this point, particularly at the level that folks are doing it. It is very unusual.
I love you too,
The only
Karen.
thing that I can say is that this may be a plea to the court of public opinion, in as much as there are a lot of folks who have made up their minds about what they believe they know about this case and what they believe may have happened to Nolan Wells. And this may either be an attempt to sort of further that or fight against it. But the fact that there could be a criminal proceeding in this matter means that the court of public opinion has to remain secondary to what we know may take place in the court of public opinion. And these interviews are not helping.
So, okay. Because I feel the same way, and that has nothing to do. I'm not talking about guilt or innocence or whatever.
Sure.
Charles, I'm just telling you, how long have we've known each other for a long time. And when I knew you, when we first met each other, I had been doing this probably for at least 20 years. So I know I can, you know it when you see it. I know a good PR strategy and I know a not good PR strategy. And the best crisis PR is when people, behind the scenes who don't know about these things can't figure out that you have a crisis PR person, because it seems so natural and everything is sort of, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you sort of, if you're trying to change public opinion or public perception, you do it in a way that is more productive than just knocking people over the head, or, in a quite honestly, in the honest way, in a way that's not so productive. And so when you said this is a bad strategy, as an attorney, I must agree with you as a journalism professional.
Yeah, from a communication standpoint and from a legal standpoint, I can't figure out what's going on here. And, I don't want to use the term amateur night, but what I will say is that I think that this may be a case, Don, of playing to the wrong audience. I do understand that the court of public opinion moves very, very quickly. There are some other sort of theories. They get a little bit wonkier the more you go down the rabbit hole, in as much as there may be people who believe, well, the folks giving the interviews may have an inside track on what is going to happen with any sort of potential criminal prosecution. And so they're moving with a certain level of confidence around being able to predict the future. I'm not going that far as to say that they may be tipped off that the grand jury is not going anywhere. I will say that even if they did have that inside knowledge, even if that was something that someone had, tipped them off to, you would still want to behave in such a way that doesn't give that away. Right now, everyone's scratching their heads. And to your point, there's nothing about what we're seeing right now with the volume of public interviews that suggests that these folks know what they're doing or actually have a real strategy. So it may just be trying to play to the wrong audience, in this case being the court of public opinion, rather than holding your cards close to the vest and allowing the criminal prosecution process to play itself out.
Interesting. Okay. Audience, Lemonheads, Lemon Nation, and attorney Charles Colvin Jr., let's listen to, this is one that we did not play this morning. And it's regarding the CITO call. And remember, the audio engineer, the audio expert that did the enhancement on the call and said, and was quite frankly upfront, said, this is my interpretation. It should not be the only interpretation. You should listen to it, and then you should decide for yourself. But here is the assessment from the friends about the CITO call. And I think the attorney also weighs in here as well. Here it is.
What is your thoughts on that phone call to CITO? Some people have gone out and done enhancements to the audio, and in doing that, created a transcript manually. It doesn't appear that.
Now you see how he's trying to get in their head to make them believe that that's not y'all on the call. Those calls, it was put like that, to pretend that it was y'all, but it's not y'all. You see what he's trying to do, right? Yeah.
That the transcript was derived from an automated system or have any in my opinion, real integrity with it. So what do you guys think about that audio?
Well, I can go ahead and say that as you posted that clip of all of us on the boat, you know, as it's rolling, not rolling, but right there sitting in the water, Wyatt's on the phone with Cito in that clip. I mean, he's on the phone. Wouldn't you think that you would have seen Nolan on the bottom of on the floor or something, or scrambling around?
Girl, look at the lawyer eyes, y'all, when he said that. Now, y'all, I wouldn't even say no shit like that. Let's be honest. They would have seen him on the floor of the boat or whatever. Like, why would you even say that? That is something should have never came out of your mouth. Like, let's be honest. What is really going on with these interviews? Did y'all see this? Did y'all see Charles' eyes? Because he nice looking, y'all.
Around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him or something. I mean, that
Charles, y'all.
It's just so crazy to think that, why would we call Cito if we have a dead body on the boat? I mean, why would we call the Coast Guard? You know, why would we do the things we did if we know we killed somebody?
I think people, regardless of who it is going to believe what they want to hear. If they want to believe that my friends and I had something to do with Nolan dying, then they're going to believe that regardless of what you put out. But you put out, Brandon, that a clip of the boat when Wyatt was on the phone with Cito, and it is boldly clear.
And I want y'all to notice something. They all look at each other when they're talking. And when one of them started talking, they all look at each other. Watch their body language, y'all. Watch the body language.
Clear that Nolan was not on the boat with us. You can literally almost see down to the deck. And as you can see in that picture, everybody is completely casual while Wyatt's on the phone with Cito. Yeah, we were scrambling around trying to get the boat fixed, but the guys were, you know, in the video, you can see me, I'm sitting on the bow. If there was someone dying on the boat, why would everybody just be sitting there waiting to either get towed in, or in the first place, like Jack said, why would Wyatt call Cito? It's crazy. The reason we turned down Coast Guard is, why would we call Coast Guard if Cito could pull us in? But we fixed the boat and we ran into Fort Bayou, and that's it. The Cito call was completely enhanced, and these people just want to believe what they want to hear. And that's exactly what they're doing. So it's just crazy to me that people have tried to twist this and twist the audio. When we came out with the first interview, it debunked half these lies, and now you don't hear about any of it.
Nothing.
You don't hear about the pool party because it was on June 27th. You don't hear about anything else that was mentioned. Thousands of lies, and now the audio comes back, and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the background, screaming. You know, we're screaming about how he's dead. That's just a complete lie, and it's
No. Now, won't you go and ask your friend, Mr. Potato, to interview the lady that did the phone call with you? I think her name is Vicky. Okay, because she was the one. That's the lady you need to be saying stuff to. That's the lady that Mr. Potato, and maybe this man right here, maybe he needs to interview her, because she was the one that took y'all call. So she will be the only one again to know if this call is fake or real, because she took y'all phone call that day that you claimed that y'all was sinking, that I don't believe y'all was doing shit.
It's another lie to push this narrative that people don't want to turn down. It's insane to me.
First of all, with respect to Warren, if you just murdered your best friend on an island, the dumbest thing you could do would be to call the Coast Guard. To call a federal law enforcement agency and tell them, hey, can you guys go out?
And girl, the way he dressed, I thought he was a friend. I didn't even know he was an attorney. Lord have mercy. And you is right. Why did the dispatcher even ask, was anyone breathing? Facts. That's a big question.
Go out and check out this island and look for Nolan Wells. Well, that's exactly what Warren did. Warren called the Coast Guard And that is one of many very compelling facts. He got back and he called the Coast Guard. Does that sound like a guilty man to you? All right. Now, these are all American young men, incredible young men. And they did a lot more than just that. I won't go through all of it now, but they did a lot of heroic things after the fact.
Girl,
And
y'all
they did
about
the
look
best
at
they
Charles
could.
looking at them.
And they tried for their dear friend. All of their actions are the actions of innocent men, not guilty men. And again, they're categorical.
No, their actions are guilty. That's my opinion. You got to let these people have their own opinion because you're bringing your people out here, okay, on these platforms to talk about what they feel, how they feel, what people think, how people thinking. You shouldn't give a fuck about what nobody think and how nobody feel. But I don't see nothing but guilt. That's all I see. I'm just going to be honest. That's all I see is guilt. And we want to know what happened to Nolan. That's all we want. You know, stop trying to come out to people so they can't talk and they can't say what they want to say and all this shit. You know, shit. Charles over here just looking like what the hell is going on this panel? What is they saying? Charles is looking, honey. He's trying to figure this shit out.
Completely and totally innocent.
We promise a tenfold refund if it doesn't work. Traditional dentures can cause jawbone loss and alter your facial contours over time. But these dentures completely avoid these problems. They fit in 1 second.
Right, here comes Charles.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I mean,
I got a couple.
I didn't understand the whole thing about this completely. I didn't get. I quite honestly, what's the young man's name? I think is Warren. I didn't quite get what his explanation was, and you know,
well,
his yeah.
I'm going to say a couple things here. The first and foremost is, you know, I am not going to ignore the platform upon which these gentlemen chose to go and give that interview. Obviously, you have a choice in platform, and that's fine. But there was something about that particular platform, and I'll leave it to the viewers to ascertain for themselves why they would have felt comfortable giving that interview in that space. And you know, what I will say is that this is likely a forum that they felt was going to be friendly and comfortable and non-confrontational. As a former prosecutor, without any sort of aspersion or conclusion around guilt or innocence, what I will tell you is this, Don. It is never a good sign when someone starts asking, why wouldn't I have done this? Or why wouldn't I have done that? Or why would I do this? And leaves you to speculate, as opposed to just affirmatively saying, we did this because, and we did not do this because X, Y, Z. That is always a telltale sign that someone is desperately trying to get you to believe what it is that they are saying because they want you to speculate in a way that would have made sense, as opposed to just saying, I would not have done this because, and it would not have made sense for me to do that because. We see it in everyday life in terms of storytelling and how people do. If you ever listen to someone who tries to say like, well, why wouldn't I have done this? There are a million and one things that anyone could do in response to a situation, but coordinating a story and sitting there with potentially 3 other co-defendants as a means of putting this out to the court of public opinion may not necessarily be the smartest thing to do. I am very much so looking at that attorney askance, which is one of my favorite words, because you are showing yourself as a bit of an amateur in terms of your chops from a PR perspective. Now, your trial chops may be a different conversation, but you are on basically a public platform testifying for your own clients before they've even been indicted. And I think that that's something that most attorneys are loath to do, let alone letting their own clients get out here and tell their stories. Now, again, it could be that they know that no indictment is coming because they've been given that information from the end.
Let's pause. Didn't I say that, y'all? Didn't I say that? I said it. I've been saying it for days now. Why is these boys doing this? Do they know they're not going to get indicted? Do they know they're not going to jail? Do they know something we don't know? How long I've been saying this? And he is the second person that I played today that said that. The second person. Okay? Come on now. Is there some truth in this? We'll eventually see.
Inside. Or another thought that occurred as I was watching this, Don, is this is a case that's drawn quite a bit of public scrutiny. If you are a defendant and you go into the grand jury, you are not guaranteed to be able to testify. You are not in control over what information the prosecution puts forward. So if you are trying to control the narrative before you get to the grand jury, this would be your opportunity to do so. I don't think it's a good way of doing it. I don't think it's a smart way of doing it in the long run. But that is to say that as people have been watching this all over the country, and as I'm sure that includes people who are in Mississippi, who are in Jackson County, this may be an opportunity to sort of poison the jury pool of grand jurors by getting your version out there, just in case someone who's watching that interview ends up on that grand jury, just in case someone who's watching that interview ends up in that jury box. This is a means of trying to get your narrative out, because you certainly won't do it in the grand jury because you're not in control of those proceedings. And then by the time you get to trial, who knows what other information you might be battling against. So from a PR perspective, it could be a preemptive strike for potential jurors or potential people in the jury pool, but it's still, for me, something that's ill-advised, because all of this could be used against you in a court of law.
So clearly, basically what you're saying, this is, as you said, this is a court of public opinion. This is a PR strategy. Is that what you're saying?
Not a very good one, but that's what it is, yes.
That's what it is. I cannot disagree with you. And for the life of me, I don't understand. But perhaps you said they're appealing to the, I don't know if you said the wrong audience, or maybe it's the one that they need to appeal to because they're speaking to the folks there in Mississippi.
Could be.
Could be. Okay. I want to play something as well that we talked about a little bit earlier on the Don Lemon Show. And that is this, there's part of the interview where the friends are talking about, hang on one second, let me see. The friends are talking about the examples of threats. Okay, since you're a former prosecutor, you're an attorney, I want you to listen to this and tell me what you think.
We live in the golden age of thin, where slimmer is celebrated as a sign of progress.
Can you give me some examples of what has happened? Have you guys had things happen online, threats online? Have you guys have any examples of people accosting you?
Now, y'all, he asked them that because they already been coached. They already been coached. That's my opinion, that they already been coached, so this is what he was going to, say to them, and then they got to reply back to it. This sounds like this was coached already. That's my opinion.
You or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. We have had countless death threats online, been spotted. I'll let you elaborate more on that, being spotted.
People have obviously just pointed us out. As a group and even on a one-on-one setting, I think it's...
Warren, look like you need to eat a little something, like you're losing weight there. What's going on? You worried to death? Because like to me, you done lost a lot of weight. Ooh, Lord.
It's really just awkward because I don't want to talk about this, and I know my friends don't want to talk about this any more than we need to. We're still mourning one of our best friends' death. And
girl, look at y'all.
It's hard to speak about it when, sometimes we just need some alone time, or sometimes we just need to,
you got like a fucking
lay back and not be around all this. And I've been called out.
We really don't want to talk about this, and so more than we need to, and so we're going to sit down with our attorneys and do an interview with podcaster that has millions of subscribers, but we really don't want to talk about this.
Because Charles, okay, so let's talk, because this is not. I don't think this is being critical of
shit up.
These young men. Perhaps maybe you view it that way. My view is that my view is the people who are the people who are advising them, the adults, the attorneys who are advising them to. It's just not a good idea, because they're saying we need some alone time, we need to mourn, but yet they're sitting in front of cameras with a far right wing content creator and their attorney who's dressed up as I don't know. At first we thought he was we're like, who is this friend? He's not like in high school. Is it?
Told y'all, I thought that was their friend.
I mean, it was. Do you see what I'm saying?
Of course I do, and I think that again, this is the more I pay attention to this, the substance of what we are listening to is less relevant than the style of what is being presented. Especially if you consider the fact that
I won't be surprised, Auntie
again,
Barbara.
there are potential jurors and potential members of the grand jury who might see this. They might see this and they might hear, there's obviously a certain degree of leading in terms of how these questions are being asked, which is why you should leave journalism to journalists and former policing to former police people. But when it comes to even the presentation by the attorney, look very closely. He described them as all-American guys who were courageous. And he's sitting there not dressed as an attorney, but dressed similar to what he described as being an all-American guy. This is what the all-American guys wear. I'm dressed similar to these all-American guys. I'm sending a message to the folks out here that these young men, these boys have been harassed, that they have been accosted, and you are, as the facilitator of this conversation, throwing me slow pitch, underhanded softballs so that we can ask these types of questions and elicit this type of information that makes them look like victims. Again, the only thing that I can think of is in hopes of drawing some level of sympathy within the court of public opinion, and such that we avoid an indictment. And if we can't avoid an indictment, ultimately we avoid a conviction. And we begin to shift the pendulum away from focusing on Nolan Wells and getting answers about what happened to him, and centering these young white men as somehow victims in this situation, despite the fact that they can go home to their families and Nolan Wells' parents will never see his face again.
Okay, continue on, please, Andy.
Public, and I haven't been in public that much. I know my friends have had encounters in public. The threats
Now
have
pause,
been...
back it up just a little bit if you can, Andy. Now this is, again, he's asking them specifically about threats against them personally. Okay, here it is.
I've been called out in public, and I haven't been in public that much. I know my friends have had encounters in public. The threats have been insane from, my stepmom and my dad, my mom, just everyone included, like even my brothers and my sisters. And it's just hard. I mean, it's unbelievable where like this has been taken to and the level where this is at.
When you say you've been called out in public, can you give me an example of like, what do you mean? People are threatening you with weapons? People are...
So the boys are sitting right there. So why they can't tell their own story? Why they need him to tell their story?
Not allowing you, deny you service. Because I heard that Trayston, he went to a corner store and they told him his money is not good there. They wouldn't even let him buy Gatorade.
Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn that people didn't want to buy Gatorade? That's their store. If they feel like they didn't want their money, it wasn't good enough to buy Gatorade out of their store, just move on. That wasn't no threat. They just didn't want them in their store, apparently, to buy Gatorade. Who cares? That's not a threat. The store owner just didn't want him in the store to purchase anything out their store. I guess the people love Nolan. They want to know what happened to Nolan. But I don't take that as a threat. They didn't threaten him.
You experiencing things like that or something totally different?
Right. I wouldn't say like that. I think I haven't been denied you know, anything. But like Trayson, it's hard to hear from a good friend of mine that he's getting denied a Gatorade and a Red Bull before work.
Well, your friend gonna hear a lot of things in life that he's not gonna want to hear. You know, not only in the corner store, maybe in school, or you know, it's a lot of things that people are gonna say to us in the real world that we don't want to hear, and we're not gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? Not in this case, in any case. That's the way the real world is set up.
And having to, like, he calls me, he's like, dude, you won't believe what just happened. He got called out at Walmart. Someone called him out at Walmart and was like asking him all these questions and trying to press him about it. And it's crazy to me. Like, you know, we live in a very tight-knit community, and for people to, you know, push back and say these things when they.
Yeah, y'all was tight-knitted. Okay, y'all was tight-knitted. I see that. That's a fact. You told the truth about that one.
Know what Ocean Springs is like. It's really hard. And I mean, I don't think I haven't had many personal encounters, but I know being around the guys and stuff like that, they have. So,
Charles.
So an 18-year-old black boy is dead, and you want to talk about not being married and being questioned at Walmart. You know,
that was their black friend. That was, they were talking secondhand from their black friend, who's the one who's being denied service, allegedly.
I do want to point out, right? There is a scintilla of grace that I do want to extend to these young men in this situation, in as much as they may be the victims of very, very bad advice.
Right.
The person doing the interview is clearly feeding things to them as part of questions to elicit certain answers.
Yeah.
The attorney who's sitting with them, who has been
In your opinion.
In my opinion, correct.
Yeah.
The attorney who is sitting there, who has presumably been retained by their parents, has signed off on them doing this interview and is sitting there with them. And so from the limited mind of someone who's a late teenager, 18, 19 years of age, they might not appreciate the full vast range of perspectives that would, you know, indicate, hey, this might not be the best idea. But beyond that sort of scintilla of grace that I'm going to extend for them getting what I would see as really poor advice and really bad, you know, poor guidance in this moment, I will say that I find it almost offensive in this moment to sort of center them and their secondhand threats. And again, in the conversation, Don, a lot of this gets lost. You were pointing out that one of the young men was just speaking about an experience of another black friend, not themselves, and so on and so forth. But keep in mind that you and I are listening to this with a discerning ear that may not rise to the level, or that may not mirror the level of what other people are listening to. And so from many people in the public's perspective, they might hear that and say, oh, these young men it's just so terrible. They're getting harassed. It's just so awful.
Never do this with an older cat.
Wet food or dry food? It's the question I've heard from cat parents for more than 50 years, and the real answer almost always catches them off guard. Wet food contains more moisture to simulate fresh.
Them and stopping them. And again, from the place of building a degree of support in the court of public opinion, that is the perhaps only goal that I can see here. And keep in mind that as a trial attorney, as a former prosecutor, and now as a civil rights attorney, you know, I have frequently said, and other attorneys will say back to me, you only need one. You need just one. And what that refers to is when you have a jury, not a grand jury, when you have an actual jury at a criminal trial, all you need is one holdout. All you need is one juror to say no, and you avoid a conviction. And so it's hard to say in this moment, watching something like this, Don, whether that is the calculation, whether they are bidding and auditioning for, if they can't get the court of public opinion, if we can't stop an indictment, if we end up with a criminal prosecution, We need to appeal to just one juror who might be out there, who might be watching this, and get their sensibilities to side with us. Because that may be the difference between justice from Nolan Wells and not. We don't know at this point.
Sheriff.
And I don't think any of I know that neither of us have said these young men are responsible, these young men are guilty. Neither of us have said that. None of us really know what has happened.
No way. Whenever someone gets close to that, I'm like, we don't know. We don't know. We're not right. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, with a grand jury proceeding at some point looming in the future, this becomes a sort of a fight where you have to create as many options as for yourself as possible. And it could be that this is an appeal to that one juror in Jackson County who might watch Don Lemon or hear about Don Lemon or see this clip or even follow the platform that they did the interview on and believe that this is an appeal that's going to work to them. The last thing I'm going to say on this, Don, we talked about this, I want to say a little bit around a week ago. We had this conversation. A lot of this is invited by the lack of information that we've received from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, I can agree.
If the Jackson County Sheriff's Office is more transparent and puts out more information and moves swiftly with this, at least with regular updates to the family and the public regarding this investigation, not telling everything, but giving folks more information, I guarantee you that we do not have this space filled up with these sorts of interviews. We don't have this space filled up with this sort of commentary and conjecture from these boys or from their attorneys. This is a void of information created by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, and the result is that the zone has been flooded with all sorts of information that's caused even more speculation, which actually plays in favor of the defendants or in favor of the suspects, or in this case, the favor of people who might be indicted come grand jury time.
Okay. Here's the thing. I have some breaking news that I want to discuss with you. And also we have a media PR expert who is coming on. I'm not sure if she's if she's up yet, but we want to get her on and discuss it. But first I want to get a word in from our sponsors, and we have breaking news. Okay, Charles, that I want you to respond to. Okay. First a word.
America has a lot of religions.
Hold on, y'all.
And
We're
a
gonna
lot
skip
of
this
people
part.
That I want to play, and then something else. And I have a response actually from Ben Crump and Associates. Here it is.
I think there are things that I know that the average person doesn't know that are not points of speculation. One, that they found now, and again, this could cut three different ways. They found evidence of water in tissue and cavities consistent with drowning. However, the body was floating in the water and could have collected water. You could shoot me, I fall in the water, I could have water become the equivalent of ingested. Not that often, but it happens. In the stomach, a little bit, depends on the condition of the epiglottis. The lungs, more common because there are more entryways that can get to it. The second is, okay, so there was water in there and he was drowned, but he had help drowning. And the third possibility is that there was water there, but it is not conclusive. I am being told it is consistent with drowning. What that means investigatively is still open to interpretation. You've heard the same.
Yes,
there is no suggestion of gross injury. I do thank you for the clarification. I do not mean to suggest otherwise. I'm saying that what I have been told, that there is evidence consistent with drowning, doesn't mean that he drowned necessarily, or that the drowning was the cause of death or the water in there was the cause of death. I'm just being open-minded because that is the most practical way to be. Also, the headline information, not surprising to me, is that he was there drinking. He was seen drinking. He was known to enjoy drinking, and that's what was going on at Horn Island.
Now, you heard what he said? That he enjoyed drinking. Like, someone told him. How do they know that this man enjoyed drinking? They try to act like this boy was drinking every single day of his life. Every time he wake up, he had a can or a bottle. Make that make sense. And this boy know he was going off to school. Why would he get up and drink? Because when you say somebody loved drinking, that's just like saying that he was drinking every day. Now, where did that come from?
You can feel any way you want about it, but as a matter of fact, what the situation was about. So the toxicology early on shows a significant level of blood alcohol, the BAC level, as they call it in the body. You have also heard that. Am I correct, counsel?
I'm going to wait till the pathologist puts out the report. And
you see how that was shut down? Did you see how that was shut down? Who is linking information here? Who is linking information here? That would be a big lawsuit for that mother. Okay? Because her son information is being linked to the public, things that she don't even know yet. Now, how did they know that his drinking level was high? If they have not came out and discussed anything, how do they know that? So, is there some back end conversations going on here? Something is not right, y'all. And then you see, he didn't really want to say nothing. He didn't want to put his feet in his mouth and say anything. He said he'll just wait. Because he was like, I ain't saying nothing. He didn't want to agree with him. But it appears to me that both of these men, in my opinion, know something. Something is being linked out somewhere. Where? I don't know.
I'm going to wait till the district attorney puts out the evidence that they have. What I will say,
but safe to say is you cannot contradict me at this point.
What I will.
Oh, wait. Meaning you can't contradict me because you know. You know this as well as I know. Lord, have mercy.
Say is that I think when all of the evidence is presented, it will be overwhelming. And that it will be overwhelmingly clear from witnesses, forensic evidence.
Do not buy Black Girl Vitamins collagen powder if you don't want these side effects. Number one,
somebody
your hair
been
is
told
growing.
something. I don't know who's telling it.
Okay. So here's the thing. So basically he's saying that they were drinking. Okay. Or that he was drinking. Now, we have Officer Tater, the guy who's on there. He's also insinuating that they were drinking and having a good time. So, you know, if anyone has said that these people sound like they've been drinking or we've heard they.
Well, you know what, Sheriff? If it's not true, I mean, it's not been put out there now. A lot of content creators is talking about it. They sharing this post. You know, that's something that the mother can actually put up a lawsuit. That's a narrative they're putting out about her son. Or if it is true, where did it come from? Just say if this is true that his drinking level was high, where did it come from? It didn't come from the district attorney office publicly because they haven't said nothing publicly about it. So where did this come from? This guy, I mean, he was adequate about it. And I mean, if you catch on, he was trying to tell the attorney, you know, like I know, we both was told. Okay, that's only common sense. Okay, we both was told. Why you think he really didn't say nothing? He don't want to say nothing.
They were drinking. I think he's insinuating that they were drinking. I'll just let you listen and you tell me what you think. Here it is.
I don't want to implicate some people. I cannot confirm or deny people were drunk. Okay. I cannot confirm or not people were drunk on their boat. And so now it makes sense to me of all that noise in the background. I'll add this. People were having so much fun that people on Bart's boat, because I can see it, it pans Bart boat, everybody on Bart boat all the way through. Everybody was on Wise boat. Everybody. Nolan is nowhere. Nolan is nowhere there. And even if, like the stuff that
this guy in the white t-shirt, that day he went on Don's panel, I didn't like him from day one when he opened up his mouth. Because I knew that he was on some bullshit. And I knew that he really didn't know Warren like he say. I mean, he didn't know Nolan like he really say he knew Nolan. And I knew he was going to jump to some more bullshit just like he did.
That they're claiming that they're saying, I just can't. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. But it doesn't appear that was consistent. It's a bunch of kids on that boat talking all kind of crazy. And they're having a good time. And some kids on board boat don't even know that the other boat is having issues. And they're laughing and joking about it. Like, is that so it's not even a pandemonium situation on that boat. Like it sounds in that video. What I think they're hearing is a bunch of people having a good time, loud.
No, that's not what you all heard on that boat. You ain't just hear everybody having a good time laughing. It was none of that shit on that damn boat. Let's be real. None of that did not sound like a good time on that boat. None of that. And I don't have to repeat what I feel I know I heard. But you know doggone well, and anybody else with good common sense, okay? No, that's not what they heard. Everybody laughing, having a good time. No, nobody was not laughing on that boat. That is a straight up lie.
Yelling at stuff, calling out stuff, delusional. They don't know if it's sinking. They think they playing. People trying to get from one boat onto the other boat, yelling. And that's what when I see the video, and I'll show you the video. I just can't put it in public because there's people's faces on it. But when I see the video, I see Wyatt on the phone, and then the two witnesses said that they saw Nolan afterwards, you know, at around 6, which would be like an hour and a half after this happened. It lead me to believe that maybe, just maybe, what she put out there was not as genuine.
Okay.
So go find her. Go find her and interview her. So what he trying to say, y'all, what she put out was not genuine. Allegedly, he's talking about the dispatcher. He's trying to say what she put out wasn't genuine. She only put out what she heard. She could not make that up as a dispatcher. Now, what he needs to do is go find her and interview her. Okay?
Does it seem like he's saying I can't confirm or deny, but
it's always strange to me to hear when folks talk about this case and they speak with such conviction around the possibilities of what could be. But then when it comes to something that doesn't add up, they so quickly jump into the lane of, I wasn't there, I don't know, I can't say for sure.
Right.
30 seconds earlier, you have every answer and explanation and suggestion and theory. But then when people start asking things that seem obvious, the immediate response is, well, you know, I wasn't there, so I don't really know. You weren't there. Everyone has the right to an opinion, which also means that everyone has the right to be wrong. None of us were necessarily there, and so we don't know what happened, which I think is understandable, but it's the conviction with which some folks speak also acknowledging that they really don't know a great deal. And this is also very poisonous to the space. As I listen to this, I am curious as to how Ben Crump responds, but I want to say that from a legal standpoint, the amount of speculation that this is creating is something that hurts the prospect of a sound prosecution. It's more likely than not that there are problems with the investigation if we go step by step by step. And if anything, one thing that I can say unequivocally is a problem as an observer is the lack of transparency and information that we've received from Jackson County. That being said, the notion of flooding the zone, which is a communication technique that we see employed consistently on the far right in political spaces, is one that, and Natalie can speak to this more, is something that is if not formally informally being employed and here. And the ultimate reality is it confuses the public in such a way that, like I said, the court of public opinion is likely to, many of them, sort of throw up their hands and say, well, I can't make heads or tails of any of this. I just don't know. And they walk away, which, of course, does not get any of us any closer to justice for Nolan Wells.
Miss Boangay, I want you to respond to that. And then we're going to play. I'm going to tell you Ben's response, but that's something else that I want to play before I give you Ben's response, because it has to do with that. But I want to bring you in as a PR expert to respond to what Charles said, and to also, if you're watching this, if you've seen the interviews, what you think as a PR strategist, a crisis PR expert.
From a media perspective, we know that especially in 2026 America, information is basically what reaches people and what people tend to repeat. So putting your story on platforms that have 3.8 million listeners, that information, I'm just calling it information, getting picked up by multiple other platforms, people repeating the story from a media perspective, that approach has been successful already, because we already know that this version of the story is trending. Everybody's talking about it. It's absolutely everywhere. And it is becoming what people are, it's shaping how people, we know that it's shaping how people think and feel. I'll put it that way.
Okay. So I want to play this. Speaking of information shaping how people think and feel, because obviously there is a PR strategy going on. They're flooding the zone, Charles, as you said. They're going on different networks. Some of them friendly, some of them, who knows? Okay. This is from the Dan Abrams show. These are, I believe, two of the attorneys. Here it is.
Houston. Mo, how you doing? What do you got?
Hey, Dan, love the show. Appreciate you gentlemen for coming on as well.
Thank you.
A couple quick things. Was Nolan Wells, were there messages missing out of his phone? And the second thing is
Absolutely
photos
not.
have come out. Yeah, they're saying that there were messages missing off of his phone. His phone was wiped. And another thing, there's pictures of, like with the modern day, with people with cell phones and social media, there's pictures with adults on that boat. There, in one of the adults, they're even saying it's like an affluent crowd, judge, businessman. They were saying there's just kids, but there are adults there.
Right, but here's the thing that they're saying. I don't know who the they is, but go ahead. Tyler, you want to take this one? Or
yeah,
Ed?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I saw a headline a few weeks back that said Ben Crump and the family is going to allow the Jackson County Sheriff's Office access to Nolan's phone. You know what I never heard? I never heard him follow through with that. I have reason to believe, and I do believe, that they have not cooperated with law enforcement. I do not think that they have turned in Nolan's phone.
And they don't have to, because that was an agreement. From my knowledge and what I understood, the agreement was for everybody's phone to be looked at. And the agreement was when they turned in Nolan's phone that they would have their people there to make sure everything go well with Nolan's phone. Okay? So again, if I was Nolan's mother, I wouldn't turn in the damn phone either. The other boys' phones ain't get turned in to get looked at and see what was going on in their phone. So why is so much focus on Nolan's phone?
And I'm willing to bet my reputation on that. I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone.
And the mother don't have a right to give them access. If they had an agreement and they didn't keep up with the agreement, then maybe the mother feel like, okay, they didn't keep up with the agreement. I'm not going to give them my son's phone. Understand one thing. We all know the mother said that she do not trust the police department. She don't trust them. She don't trust him, and she have every right to feel the way she feel.
The Jackson County Sheriff's Department hasn't. So how can you say that there's text missing or there's photographs missing? Our boys had no reason to do anything with Nolan's phone other than give it back to.
You don't know that. You just saying that, you know. But I know you're an attorney, and you have to say that because all attorneys, you know, be on their client's side. So that's, you know, that's nothing new. You know, that's the way it's supposed to be anyway. And I understand that, you know, but we don't know. We don't know what was taken out of Nolan's phone. We don't know that. You know, we can't say what was taken out of his phone because we wasn't in the phone. We didn't see the phone. Only the mother knows what was missing out of that phone. She knows. And also, I did hear it was some adults that was on the island that was with those boys, not just random women. Of course, you know, they out there having fun, so it's going to be other grown women that Nolan and these boys didn't know. But I heard a lot of people say that it was adults on them boats that knew those boys.
Christine and her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchat
right, Karen,
is completely false.
Edward, go ahead.
I'll just add something. And again, this is why you have to be on the ground there or in the water. When I went to the island, when I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity on Friday.
Okay, so let me just say here,
one of the things
he goes on to say that you get off the boat and you have to swim 50 or 100 feet in, and that it's not something that people usually want to take their cell phones, and he explains that. Okay, so basically what they're saying is they don't believe that the family has turned over the cell phone. I'm going to put this up. This is from Ben Crump's office. They sent this over and they said, August 11, 2026, Angel Myers McElray, Office of the District Attorney in 19th Circuit District, 3104 Magnolia Street, Pascagoula, Mississippi, 39568. Okay, Nolan Wells. Dear Ms. McElroy, please be advised that A.R. Smith Law, PLLC, has been retained to serve as local counsel for the estate and family of Nolan Wells. Moving forward, I will be working alongside the legal team at Ben Crump Law in representing our clients in addressing matters arising from Mr. Wells' death. As the legal team has stated previously, including during our in-person meeting with the Wells family and counsel, we have been and remain ready and willing to cooperate in arranging a joint forensic inspection of Nolan Wells' personal cell phone. During that meeting, we specifically discussed having the examination conducted through the Digital Forensics Lab at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, as well as the possibility of FBI involvement in that process. Our position has not changed. We are prepared to coordinate a mutually agreeable date and procedure for the examination of the phone. Accordingly, to the extent there has been any suggestion that we have been unwilling or have failed to cooperate with the investigation, we want to make clear that this is not the case. You also previously indicated that Dr. Mitchell would be provided an opportunity to review the materials necessary for him to complete his autopsy review. We remain prepared to facilitate that process. Please provide us with any available dates and times for Dr. Mitchell to review those materials, along with any instructions necessary to arrange his access. We would like to move both of these matters forward promptly and remain available to coordinate with your office. Very truly yours, Ahmad R. Smith, A.R. Smith, Law, PLCC, and it is dated, I think that is today, right? August 11th, 2026. That is the new information. Mr. Attorney, what say you?
You know, Dom, what this sounds like to me, when you have a young man who doesn't have much of a reputation because they're so young, but yet they're willing to bet their reputation that the authorities haven't received the cell phone and so on and so forth. It sounds like to me that they have a lot of information from law enforcement that the public doesn't have. When you can speak so confidently about what you believe in terms of the level of cooperation from Nolan Wells' family and their attorney, so much so that there is a need for clarification from Nolan Wells' attorneys and legal teams around what they are willing to do and what they have been willing to do. That sounds to me like someone has been giving them a lot of information from the inside that they have.
Ooh, baby, didn't I tell y'all? Come on now, y'all. Y'all gotta start giving me my props now. Didn't I tell y'all? I've been saying this. I've been saying this for some time now. Oh my God. Wow.
They've been keeping quiet from the public because those types of estimations and bold proclamations and around, I bet my reputation on it, sounds a little bit overconfident that you've been getting some information about what the authorities do and don't have, which to me goes back to what I've been saying for a while now, which is this drought of information from the authorities is beginning to be more and more and more of a concern when you're talking about transparency and objectivity for a process that's supposed to have integrity.
I told y'all.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside
a lot
and
of
open
people, I believe they're working together with
account.
this.
When you're
and
ready
it
to
might
record,
not pan out to be good. I said that. I said, no. That autopsy, everything been back. All that shit, I believe in my heart, y'all, it been back. Okay? This lawyer here just confirmed everything that I had said before and what I've been thinking. Somebody is getting some inside information from somebody. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Woo.
Do you have anything to add, Ms. Mwangi?
The drought of information keeps coming back to me because ultimately we know that if you're strategic about it and you're putting out your information in a way that you know it's going to be amplified, you're more likely to get that version of the story shared, repeated, and we know how that ends up affecting the judicial process down the line. So from the outside, that's just how it looks, right?
Yeah. No, Charles, I just want to say, when I said, I looked at the date on this because I would assume, this is me, that they are responding directly to this allegation that they have not turned over the phone, that they're somehow hesitant to turning over the phone. And it appears here from this writing and this letter that is indeed not the case. They're working on a process to have the phone forensically examined by experts, which are, I believe, would be a third party that is independent and also an authority that can go through the phone and preserve some of the things that should be preserved and only look at the things that need to be looked at to find information. I think that is common in legal practice, and having someone have my phone, I certainly would know about what's happening here. It's not as easy as people think, first, to get into a cell phone, and number two, to be able to get the information from it, whether you're with the government or a private law firm or a private investigator. It's not as easy as one would think.
No, Don, that's absolutely right. I understand why the legal team decided to do this, because on a certain level, you do have to fight back. You've got to fight back this narrative that has really created confusion, doubt. You don't want the momentum behind seeking justice and answers for Nolan Wells to die down. And so you have to now present a counter narrative. But the problem with this is that it just jumbles up the space, where again, for the prosecutors who were involved, the information drought that they've created is now, that void is now being filled with a bunch of different stuff, where the attorneys for Nolan Wells and his family are now saying, no, we want an independent party to examine this phone and do technological forensics And we're willing to cooperate with law enforcement to do that. But for many people, they may have just heard the account, oh, they didn't turn over the phone.
Right.
And that speculation
to make them look bad.
Then in the court of public opinion can be interpreted any variety of ways.
That's right.
And so that is essentially what we're seeing here is a sort of tug of war over narrative, Don. And they're choosing to manage this narrative relatively sloppy, in my opinion, and this could come back to bite them in the face of a criminal indictment, but it's sort of a bull in a china shop. And in today's media world, in today's communication space, given the information gap that has existed because of the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, they have obviously figured out we'll fill that gap with speculation and hope that it's enough to sway enough people to our side or our opinion going forward.
Charles, Ms. Mwenge, thank you both. Anything else you would like to add to this before you've both been extremely helpful here. Anything else you would like to add before we let you guys go?
Condolences to the family.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to encourage our listeners and viewers, or your listeners and viewers, to always seek out facts and encourage other folks to seek out facts. In this moment, part of the reason that we are in the space that we are in is because people are loath for patience and for facts. And I think at this point, the notion of patience is one that I can understand people's aversion to, because we have waited and we haven't gotten answers. And so the process is looking increasingly sketchy. But what I will say is that regardless of how you feel about the process, please, in your discussions, in your shares, in your conversations, focus on facts, on vetted facts that you are getting from trusted sources and messengers, not from podcasters who are looking to make a buck.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
True. I agree.
Thank you, Charles Coleman. Thank you, Nantile
I agree
Mwange.
with him.
We appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so look, there you go. You're informed. Now, I have this is very interesting to me, because as we're speaking here, I'm looking through some of the things. And someone on the thing says, where did I have it? They said, Don, basically they're saying, Don, I've noticed that a switch in your approach in the case in the last weeks or so, and that's something that you're unable to tell us. No, there's no switch in my approach. The thing is that in the beginning, new information is coming in every single moment, every single day.
Yeah.
And so we have a family member on, we have a whatever on, and then after all of this information, there's more time for analysis. And so this is not new information coming in, breaking news. This is just happening. There's a funeral. There's this, there's that. This is more analysis. And so as the information comes in, where the story leads us, that's where we go.
That's
so
right.
If the young men are doing an interview, that's what we're going to discuss. We'll discuss the media strategy. If the young men are saying, and their attorneys are saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, that is what we're going to discuss. So has there been a switch in my approach? Only in the sense that we're covering what is in front of us.
That's right, Don.
Not that there is a switch in how I'm handling it or in the transparency. No, there's nothing that I need to tell you, because I'm telling you where we are. I'm being very transparent about what's happening. And I have been saying from the very beginning, we don't know what happened. Is it suspicious? Yeah, there are some things that are suspicious. Is it?
I think Don do a good job. I think he do a good job, and he right. No, do we know what happened? No, we don't. But everybody has a right to say how they feel, what they feel happened, and that's it. But we don't know what happened. We was not there. But everybody have a right to their own opinion of how they feel. Long they're not threatening nobody or doing anything like that to nobody. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. Okay, this is a freedom of speech. Okay, and like Charles said, follow the truth. Some people's doing this just for the money. Some people really want justice for Nolan, and I agree with that also.
Do we know what happened there? No, we don't. We should wait. However,
Shay
I've been
said
saying
he is.
all along, and Charles has been saying the same thing. The folks who are the investigators need to have a cadence of informing people, briefing people, giving people information to debunk, if not for anything, but to debunk the misinformation that is coming out. We have been very, very, very consistent in that. So that's it, because when I don't want people to think like there is nothing that has happened. There's nothing that's changed. There's nothing that I need to tell you except for what's coming out of my mouth every single day, which has been consistent. But you're right. This case is just crazy. 100% crazy. And as I have been saying every single day, we're going to continue to ask questions because that's what journalists do. The journalism doesn't go away when the cameras go away, when the folks no longer want to talk, when the DA doesn't want to talk. I'm not saying the DA doesn't want to talk. I'm using an example. When the investigators or the sheriff doesn't want to talk. Now that is indeed true. So the truth is what we are asking in this case. Thank you, Dr. Doc. And the truth is what the family wants, okay? And so the latest information we got from Ben Crump, you saw that, is that they are refuting this this information that they are not cooperating with the phone and that the phone has not been whatever. They're explaining what happened. That is the breaking news in this case. So now you know, now you're informed. Everything you need to know, you got it right here. We informed you. And from the very beginning in this case, we have been giving you the updates on the actual investigation when it happened, a day or two after it happened, as the mom, as I've been telling you, was finding out that it was indeed her son, identifying the body on the beach. We had one of the rescue people on confirming that that was indeed happening in the moment as we were on. And so just as we were doing this, we get a word from attorneys that they are refuting what is being said in those interviews about Nolan Wells and about the family. And that's what we're bringing to you. Okay? So now you're informed, and I want you to be informed, continue to be informed without being inundated. And so go to donlemon.com if you want to know anything about the show, donlemon.com, and make sure you do this because folks are asking.
Okay, that's the end of Don. He's going off. But y'all, what do y'all think about everything I played today, y'all? What do y'all think about it before I get off? What do y'all think? Ooh, those was some great videos. All of them I played. I mean, every last one of them. I've been saying it, and I've been saying it. What is going on with this case? What is going on? Is information being linked out? That's what it appears to me. Something ain't right. So now what I'm getting from this is they're trying to use the phone as an excuse now. That's just my opinion. Is they trying to use the phone now as an excuse while things is being held up? Is that what they're trying to say? And if y'all get the phone and things were deleted from the phone, what is the next step? What's the next step? Is y'all going to come out and talk then? And then, just my opinion, I feel like before they even turned the phone over, I feel like it should be a discussion with the mother, what they did, what they're doing, what the autopsy looked like before the phone even get turned over. Do y'all expect this is foul play? Do y'all expect somebody to unalive my son? What do the mother get before she even turned over her son's phone? What did she get? Nothing, but just turn over the phone? And then when the outcome comes out, y'all come out and say, oh, it was foul play. We didn't find nothing. No one did anything to him. He drowned. What is it? What is going to come out of all of this? I would want to know what is going on before I give up my son's phone. And the mother needs to talk to her attorneys. Yeah, that's what I feel. Right. I agree with you, Royal D. Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's going to be next? What's going to be next? If she give you the phone and things come back, that things was deleted, what's the next step? What's the next step? Are y'all going to come out to the public? Tell the public what y'all found with the phone? What is the next thing? Or before, again, like I said, before she even give y'all the phone, what answers can y'all give this mother and father? Why is y'all not giving the mother and father no answers? Why do I feel like other people know more things about this lady's son than their own parents know? Why do I feel like things is being linked out? Yeah, that's how I feel. Mm-hmm. Did Tatum Talk say it's a video of the dispatcher call in one of those videos? Yes, the dispatcher call. Since you ain't see that dispatcher call, the dispatcher call we're talking about is when people were saying that, you know, he was in the background saying, check his chest. Oh my fucking God. That's the call we're talking about. But Tatum is trying to say that he heard in the call they was just having fun. Where is that call at? Because if you listen to that video, they're recording, I'm gonna say, because it was a recording. That's not what I heard. How could you get there having a good time on a boat versus they're stressed? It's chaotic. They're trying to get the boat, pump the water out, as they say. They're trying to get the boat to a safe spot, as they say. Okay? So I don't know where he get that from. Like, come on. You know, so that's the recording he's talking about. Now, the recording from the lady that you know, the dispatcher, you know, I was saying you can't get mad at anybody from hearing what they say they heard. You can't get mad at that. You can't even get mad at the lady, I think her name is Ashley, the one that, you know, dissected everything and you know, moved some stuff out, and when she put it out, you can't even get mad at her. Now, who y'all need to get mad at? Y'all need to get mad at the people that put it out. Get mad at them. Interview them. I seen nobody yet that's so concerned about this recording. Interview any of those people and ask any of those people, is this recording true? Because they will be the only one that know about that recording, because it came from them. You can't get mad at nobody that's dissecting this. You can't get mad at the bloggers. You can't get mad at the supporters. You can't get mad at the journalists. You can't get mad at the ex-prosecutors, the lawyers, nobody. You have to talk to the people where the recording came from. That's what you got to talk to. The people that the recording came from, because they're going to be the only one to say if that's true or not, because it came from them, because the call came into them. That's just facts. Yes, Miss D, you said that. Yes, like for real. Go on and find Vicky, you know, and because, you know, she was the one that got the phone call now, because you can hear Vicky say, hello. Hello. I forgot what she said. Hello, can I help you? Or some shit like that she said. I can't remember everything. But yeah. And it was strange to me when she asked, was everybody breathing on the boat? That was a little obvious to me. It stood out to me. I'm going to say that. It did stood out to me. I feel the same way, Miss D. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because only Vicky will know. Only Vicky can clear up these motherfucking peoples that's thinking that is fake. Vicky have to be the one that cleared that up to change their perspective of what was said on that recording clear. Only Vicky can do that. And I have not seen nobody yet get in contact with Vicky. And that's Vicky. Don't talk to Vicky behind the scenes. We want to see Vicky on a platform talking, telling the story. Because anything behind the scenes now, I don't even trust no goddamn up. Okay? Now maybe Vicky don't talk to the authorities. I don't know. I can't say. Maybe she have. You know, maybe she don't talk to the authorities. Maybe they called her. You know? But see, the same way they sit here and say people is speculating about that video and they're saying things, you know, to try to make the boys look bad. Well, won't y'all tell Vicky that? Because Vicky was the one that took the call. So if anybody making the boys look bad, I guess it would be Vicky because she took the call. I guess it would be the people that released it. That's just my opinion, right? Because the public is only going off of what was put out and what they think they heard. So you can't get mad at nobody on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, Snapchat. You can't get mad at those people because what they're blogging on. Because they're blogging on what they think they heard, okay? Again, you have to go to Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky's the only one that knows. That's all I can say. You know, she the one picked up the 911 call and she was asking questions. You know, do y'all need a tow? You know, how deep is the water? How many people on the boat? Do y'all have life jackets? Is everyone breathing? These are the questions that she was asking. And I'm not, you know, saying anything bad about her, you know, because I don't know the lady. I'm just saying she was the one that took the call. She would know better than anybody. Yeah, she would know better than anybody. Shit. You know, just like the boys is doing these, you know, panels and stuff, you can't get mad at the people the way they feel, the way they talking about them, you know, when it comes to their behavior and the things that they're saying and their body language. You can't get mad at the bloggers. You can't get mad at anyone because they are doing commentary how they feel, what the boys were saying, how they was looking, their body language, how they went out back to the forest again, whatever they went, shit. You know, I mean, you can't get mad. If you put stuff in the media, people's gonna talk about it. You can't get upset with that. You can't. If you don't want stuff in the media, don't put it in the media so it won't be talked about. That's all I can say. I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, it's just crazy. But he said he could show the video because it was people faces on it. Yes, he did. That was strange. I'm confused. I could have sworn he said, yes, he did say that, sis. He did. You heard it right. You heard it right. Now, I don't know where the video at now, sis. Don't ask me that because you'll have me lying. I don't know where the video at. I don't know if he'll ever put it out, but he said he was going to show the other guy. I don't know, honey. But every shit you showed everybody else's face, you might as well show these faces now because you're trying to prove these boys is innocent, right? Put it out. If you're trying to prove these boys is innocent, don't worry about showing them motherfucking people faces. Or either cover their goddamn faces up and still put the goddamn video out. Period. Period. That's what I say about it. You trying to, you know, I'm not saying the boys did anything. I don't know who did what. I wasn't there. But what I will say, I do believe something kicked off. It wasn't right. You know, I do believe something kicked off It was not right. Now, from what I seen yesterday on a content creator page on Facebook, that the Navy, the National Navy people, whoever they are, they released another video yesterday of a boy on a boat, and it looked like down the boat it had something looked like ketchup in the boat. Right now, I seen that. I don't know what the hell is going on with that shit. Y'all, oh Lord Jesus, oh Lord, that video from the Sea Tour was requested. So, it's Karen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. Yes, right, and they knows that too, and that's why I don't know why he said they was laughing and joking on the boat. They was having fun. What? Shit, don't sound like no damn fun to me. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. But I hope y'all enjoyed those videos today, baby. They was broke down, very professional. I like how they did it. Don has be having he be having some good panels. He really did. You know. Lord, y'all, I don't know. But y'all, be honest, right? A lot of things that guy, Charles, and a lot of things that it was somebody else. I think the lady, I can't remember her name. I call her Spicy on it because she a fighter, baby. She fight back, okay? So I call her Spicy. Spicy, Miss Spicy, and Mr. Charles, right? Wasn't they saying the same exact some of them things they were saying, y'all? I have already been saying. Yeah. Yeah, I call her Miss Spicy. Because, baby, she was spicy, honey. What they should do is listen to the one that... they ain't going to do that. Because, you know, they want to feel like, you know, they know it all and they got it all figured out and stuff like that. You know, yeah. You know, everybody's lying. They don't know what they're talking about. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what's came up here. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on here. Wait. Let me see. What the hell? Wait. Wait, y'all. Attorneys for Nolan Wells' friends join Nancy Grace tonight. I will tune in. I will tune in tonight. Okay, y'all just heard that? I know I seen something come across my line. Oh, Lord, open book you in the chat. Girl, you missed it. Let me tell you something, girl. I ain't mean to call you girl, but you know, open book, my emotions caught up with me today. And, you know, I had to tell the people I apologize because, you know, my mind stay in fight mode sometimes. I can't help it. I stay in fight mode. And I think this case has got me overwhelmed, emotions running high. And I just don't understand. I was doing my commentary and I already had a feeling there was going to be some bullshit. But, you know, I see shit sometimes and I try to just let it go. But anyway, the person came in the chat and told me I better take Don's live down and stop playing it because he's a racist mother effer, right? And I said, and who the fuck you think you talking to? Because, bitch, I ain't your mama. And you don't ever come in my chat and tell me to take Don's live down and stop playing it because he racist. Because I don't feel like Don is racist. That's my opinion. If anybody else feels that way, that's your opinion too. I don't knock anybody from their opinion. Okay. And like I said, if he is, that's his business. They got nothing to do with me. But when you come in my chat and start demanding me, and then gonna have a nerve to call me a bitch. Girl, baby, I went to 100, okay? And I had to apologize to the chat. But I already feel some type of way because of, you know, what's going on with Nolan. And I feel like, you know, there's a lot of cover-ups is going on, you know, and I want justice for the mother. And it really hurts me. I'm not going to lie. It really bothers me. It hurts me that I feel like there's so much is going on with this case and they're not being honest to the mother, you know, and I don't understand how people with good hearts, you know, I mean, you got to be an evil person if you don't want this mom to know what happened to her own child. To her own child, like I don't get it. But I did go to 100. I did go to 100, and you know, I don't like that. But I had to let them know, like, get the fuck on. Like, you coming over here disrupting my chat, like. Open book, I can laugh about it now, but girl, ooh, baby. You know, I apologize for the chat. I told them I apologize. I was sorry. I didn't mean to go there. And I tried to ignore the comment for the longest. I really did. I kept saying the comment come in, and I tried to ignore it, right? And at the time, I don't think I had no minds in the chat, right? Because I said, well, let me focus, you know, and don't worry about that because maybe the moms will sit and block them. But I don't think I had no moms in, right? So I had to curse them the fuck out first, then get them out of here. But I, whew. Lord have mercy, Jesus. I said, Lord, not today. Don't bother me. Just don't bother me. Like, you know, and it really bothered me too because it's like a couple of things that I has been saying, you know, Miss Spicy and Mr. Charles, they just confirm what I've been feeling and what I've been saying. I'm like, damn, I've been saying this, you know, and I hope it's not that way, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at this thing from all angles. You know, it's really heartbreaking. I can't just imagine, you know, and now they trying to say the mother is not being cooperative with the phone, you know, and all of that stuff. But I feel like, why do she have to be cooperative with her son's phone, right? And y'all not being cooperative and getting wants for the other boy's phone. I think that's not fair to the mom. That's all I'm gonna say. If y'all want Warren's phone, I mean not Warren's phone, if y'all want Nolan's phone, why y'all didn't get everybody's phone? And maybe that would have made the mother feel comfortable enough to give over his phone, but still had her third party there to make sure everything go good. Y'all didn't do that. So why would she feel comfortable enough to say, okay, I'm just going to hand over my son's phone and let y'all go through my son's phone? She didn't feel comfortable from the beginning, as you can tell, because that's why she went and got Ben Crump. You know what I mean? And then for you to come out and say, well, I don't appreciate the mom put our picture out on Facebook. What the fuck you don't appreciate? It ain't for you to appreciate, and we don't care if you don't appreciate it, because any mom, and we can tell you're not really a social media person, right? Because this is 2026. When people go missing, that's what the fuck people do, put their loved ones out on social media, who the last person they was with. And sometimes they put the location, what they was wearing. This is 2026. This is what fuck people do. Okay, so what she was trying to do is get answers to. This is the picture of my son was on the island of July the 4th, 2026, and when they was trying to say he had on a different pair of pant shorts, she debunked it and she put the picture up. No, these are the color shorts that he had on. These are the people he was with. She never said anything about y'all had something to do with it. The mother never said that. Guilt will eat you the hell up. Guilt will eat you up. See what I believe, they didn't want the mother to put up anything because they didn't want this to go viral. They wanted this to stay low key. They didn't want this to go viral. They didn't want this. They didn't want no attention to the media, to the world. They didn't want that type of attention. No. Because y'all didn't say nothing when that detective came out and said, well, we don't think this foul play. We think this is it's an accident and drowning. Oh, I bet y'all was eating that up. Oh, y'all probably was eating that up. Yeah. That's what it was. That's what it was. But when the mother bucked the fuck back, okay, and when social media bucked the fuck back, you didn't like it because that's what y'all wanted that shit to be. Okay, but y'all didn't go to confront him and say, well, you shouldn't put that out because you don't know if that's true yet. The autopsies ain't done. You ain't did a full investigation, but you're going to come out on day 2 or day 3 and say it's an accident and drama. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with that. Come on now. What you say, sis? She said, baby, I was waiting for you to cut them up. I was trying to be nice. Y'all. I was. Because I don't like to go there. I don't like to go there. And I don't like y'all see me being aggressive like that, I'll say. But when you come in my chat and demand me of doing something in my chat, like, no. And my mind, y'all, is always on fight mode, and I tell y'all this because I'm like that because of my domestic violence. I was always on fight mode because I felt like every time he comes home, I had to fight with him. You know what I'm saying? So when you've been through a domestic violence and you're out of that domestic violence, your brain gonna be always set for a fight mode because you never know when you're gonna be attacked, right? So that's the way my mind is set up. So, but I do try to not be like that, And like I said, I kept seeing the person in the comments say nasty stuff, but I try to ignore the, I just couldn't ignore it no more. Yes, we want answers. That's right. Absolutely. You're right, open book. Yeah, we just want to know what happened to Nolan. We just want to know what happened to him. We want to know what happened. Okay? We don't. And I feel like this too, y'all. Let me say this before I get off. Okay. Y'all don't have to agree with me. I feel like, okay, they want moms to give Nolan's phone, right? Okay. The mom is willing to give the phone long as her people is there while they're doing what they had to do in the phone, right? This is how I feel. Before they get the phone, why can't y'all tell the mom what y'all findings is so far? What is going on so far with this case? We found this, we found that. Y'all took his throat out, they said, right? In his stomach or whatever else. I don't know. I forgot. Tell the mom what's going on with those parts. What did y'all find in the throat? What did y'all find in the stomach? Talk to the mom about the redness on the neck. What was that about? Like, give the mom something before she turns over the phone. Y'all want her to turn over the phone and still don't give her no answers? What type of, like, come on now. This is crazy. This is crazy. You don't have to tell the public anything right now. Just do it for the mom. Tell the mom what y'all see what y'all found. But do I believe it's a link somewhere and things is getting put out by that video I played today? Yes. And I said that already. I said that before I watched that video this morning. I said, well, oh shit. Well, I'll be damned. God is watching. They better be careful. You better say that, auntie. Say it again. They might think they got away with it, but in God's eyes, you didn't get away with that. They ain't going to do that, Miss D. I know, Brittany. I know. It would be nice, but yeah, you're right. They not. They not. They definitely not. You know, and man, woof, a bunch of narcissists on the panel. Girl, a bunch of goddamn narcissists on the panel, a bunch of fucking gaslight on the panel, a bunch of damn manipulation on the panel. Oh, child, I see it all. What in the hell is going on, y'all? Oh, child. And let me tell you something. My mom always taught me this before she passed away. Don't mess with people because you don't know how close they is to God. Don't mess with people because you don't know how close they is to God. Don't mess with God anointed people. Because you may think you're doing something to hurt these people, telling lies on these people. But baby, just stay woke. Just stay woke. Stay woke. Oh, no, they can't take the pressure. See, I put the pressure on them, but I know what to say and I know how to say it. But them motherfuckers are a bunch of fucking manipulation. They gaslighter. They narcissists. They know how to spin a narrative. They know how, see, they want everybody to believe what they say. But I ain't the bitch that believe everything you say, motherfucker. Shit. And not me. Be careful. Be careful. Because you don't know who close to God. Everybody ain't got to come out here and tell you they close to God. But you be careful. You be careful how you put your foot on somebody's head. You be careful how you put your mouth on somebody, not knowing how they close to the Lord. You better be careful. Because you're sitting out here doing evil things, saying evil things, putting out lies, spinning the narrative. You don't know how close that Christina and her husband is close to the Lord. You better be careful, baby. You better be careful. And guess what? And that goddamn Mississippi Police Department. Y'all better be careful. Okay? Because God will turn that thing around, baby. God will put something on you that make you do right. I know. I believe in him. I believe in him. I believe in him. And I know God can make a big difference. And I'm leaving this to him. Because God got the last say-so of Nolan. Oh, yeah, he does. He had the last say-so. And I'm going to continue to pray for this family and keep them in my prayers because I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine what they're going through with. And, you know, I am so thankful. I'm so thankful that that mother went into full mode action when she started seeing things wasn't right. When she started seeing things wasn't right, she went in full mode. She immediately went to Ben Crump. She didn't waste no time. You know why? Because God got in that spirit. Oh, yeah. God will let you see it now. Oh, yeah. She knew things was going to be shoved under the rug. She knew the lies was going to start. She knew the manipulation was going to start. She knew the gaslight was going to start. That mama knew all of that. And that mama said, oh, no, that's not going to happen when it comes to my son. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. She put her walking shoes on, baby, and said, let's go. And said, let's go. I'm ready. We're going to fight this together. And for people to be attacking her job and leaving bad reviews all on her job, that's just so nasty. That's just so nasty. And see, y'all see how good God is? She still got her job, don't she? They thought they was going to take that lady job away from her. But she still got it, don't she? And then they want to get up here and talk about her 3 kids. Don't worry about her 3 kids. Have y'all ever said this? Well, no, Warren doesn't live with his mother, because that's what it looked like to me, that he lived with his dad and the dad wife, because that's not his real mother. Now, why he don't stay with his real mother? Why do he stay with the stepmama? But see, they want to get up here and dog Christine out. Oh, she don't have custody of her 3 kids. She didn't raise her 3 kids. Oh, they took her 3 kids. Oh, she depended on father child support. Okay, and we don't know what her situation was. And guess what? Whatever her situation was, it ain't none of my goddamn business. It ain't none of my business. And I won't speak on it if I do know. Because you know why? That's not why we here. We're here because we're trying to figure out what happened to Nolan. I'm not here to figure out why she didn't have her 3 children. That's none of my damn business. Just like it ain't none of my damn business why Warren don't live with his real mother and live with the father. I'm just using that as an example, but that's none of my damn business neither. And I don't give a damn. Period. Girl, these people, it's crazy. It's crazy. They crazy. These people is oof. But y'all, I really enjoyed y'all today. Thank y'all so much. I really, 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 really enjoyed y'all today. I enjoy y'all every day. Even though that crazy fool came in here messing with me. I still enjoyed y'all. I really did. Hold on, y'all. I got a phone call coming from somebody. I don't know who the hell it is. Hold on. Let me see. Who the hell is you? Wait. Hello, Moto. Okay. I'll figure you out in a minute. Yeah, so I really enjoyed y'all. I thank y'all so much. So much. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate great live. Thank you, Karen. Great live. Thank you, Brittany. Thank y'all so much. I love you guys. I got to do some homework for tomorrow, y'all. Y'all know I'll be back on in tomorrow. You know I will. You know I will. I love y'all so much. Y'all be safe out here in these YouTube streets. Now, I always tell y'all, be careful what you put in chats. You know, you don't know who watching, so y'all be careful. What is wrong with this? Oh, okay. I know who this is. What's up? Yeah. All right. Okay. So, guys, I definitely see you guys tomorrow. And thanks, everybody, for the love and support. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Y'all be safe out here in these YouTube streets. Y'all be careful what you put in chats. Y'all stay prayed up. Always remember to keep God first. And I love you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.